Hello and welcome to this test match between Juniors Team South Africa DOTA2 team and Team Incubus from Peru. I'm Jesse Bear and I'll be your host for this test match. I'll be joined by our casters Ethan and Oscar. Before we get going with this game, let's have a talk about everyone involved in making this event possible today. To start off, this broadcast is made possible in association with Partner Media and Zag Academy through esportafrica.tv, the new home of African esports content. esportafrica.tv serves as a consolidated platform for all esports-related content to better reach audience and media across the continent and beyond. Mindsport South Africa is a founding partner of the platform and hopefully the first of many other federations and tournament providers to join. Partner Media is the official media and commercial partner of Mindsport South Africa. Should companies want to get involved in the fast-growing esports in South Africa, please contact sponsorship at partnermedia.co.za. There are a number of opportunities to become involved in esports in South Africa. Mindsport South Africa has various schools, university, provincial, national, and international events during a calendar year. Currently, the University of Northwest is already a sponsor through Partner Media of Mindsport South Africa's school competition that will be bringing together close on 100 schools later in 2020. Individual scholars and their teams will compete for prizes including study bursaries and cash prizes for their schools. In November, Mindsport South Africa will send a Protea national team to the International Esports Federation World Championships that will be taking place in Eilat, Israel, with over 60 nations will compete in the global event. Remember, should companies want to get involved in this fast-growing esports in South Africa, please contact sponsorships at partnermedia.co.za. Esport caters to people from all walks of life, demographics, and genders. It is a fully inclusive sport with a massive following in South Africa and around the world. Currently, under South African lockdown conditions, it's also only the sport being practiced from athletes' own home in this test match between South Africa and Peru. This test match will be in a best-of-2 format to allow for a draw, and to get into the action, we'll be heading over to talk with our casters, Oscars and Ethan, on esportafrica.tv. Hello, guys. Thank you for joining us.
Hello. Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you guys. Thank you, guys. Yeah, thank you for being with us and joining us for another great test match. Hopefully, it'll be a bit longer and a bit more hotly contested than the last one, but we can only hope because all the ones we've seen so far has been stomps from either direction. So hopefully, we can see a nice competition out today.
Yeah. Me and Oscar have been able to follow the almost the story of these South African boys over the last couple of weeks. They started off nicely, big win, but second game didn't go too well. We'll see how today goes. Hopefully like week one, but we don't know. We're looking at a strong Peruvian side today.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be crazy to see teams Mindsport South Africa, obviously their junior team coming in, like you said, starting off with a nice big victory with a quick stomp over Namibia, going on to Azerbaijan, which is a way rougher game, if we can put it that way. And now we're going to see how this third game will have to pan out. It'll be definitely good to see it. So you guys thinking that Peru is the stronger team in this situation?
I'd say looking at possible, what they're playing in their pubs and the regions they're in, Peru might have the advantage going in today. As we've only seen South Africa play, me and Oscar, so we can only go off what we've seen. But we hear the Peru squad is very strong, so it's going to be. I believe it's going to go either one or two ways. It's going to be a stomp one way or the other way. It's going to be, like week 1 or 2, but which way, I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be crazy. But yeah, just looking at these federations, the Peruvian Esports Association is actually in the midst of joining ISF at the moment. They are finalizing all the things, so hopefully we'll get some good news in the near future, just being able to see them and actually being able to join and be another member joining the ISF as we see more and more people joining on the daily basis. And we can't wait to see this keep on growing. I think this year's ISF International event is going to be a big one. So yeah, guys, obviously we've talked about it before and things like that, but just to bring on again, Mindsport South Africa, the official governing body and national federation of esports in South Africa, been around for a long time. And as we've seen, they keep on competing. So hopefully we'll be seeing more and more come about through it. Today's team is Team Incubus from Peru. They will be playing for Team Peru. They are an organization that's also been around back since 2018 they started, so they're fairly newer towards the esports industry compared to Mindsport South Africa, has been around for so long. So it'll be interesting to see, but like we have said and we have seen, especially on DOTA Buff and a lot of the other things, how much better it is and more stats and how many more games and things will be going into the team list at a later stage, just seeing all that stuff, what they're good at, what they're not, and we'll to see how it has to go from there. But I think it's going to be a really good game. So hopefully we can get some good competition out. And Oscar, are you on the same board as Ethan? They're thinking the Peruvian team has the upper hand here?
I think I might have been a little bit too skeptical last time about the South African side. So today I've got a little bit more hope in my pockets. they've had time to grow. They've had a lot to learn from their last series, and hopefully that what they've learned can give them a shot against this really strong Peruvian team.
Yeah, definitely. Especially since that last game, I know I personally spoke with the team captain from Team South Africa just to see like what they did, what happened there. And I know they've been grinding out, putting in that effort to hopefully come back at a higher thing. Obviously, with them winning all their competitions and being in a higher headspace in South Africa, and then going against Namibia that first game and stomping them, they were on that high. Like, I think they just went into that other game so confident, like, we're beating everyone, we can keep on doing this. I think just it was actually a good thing for them to be able to be beaten there so they can build from it and learn and actually just grow as individuals. So hopefully we can see them bounce back stronger and actually just develop better and come in with some new tactics, new strategies. Hopefully now playing especially with a higher ping difference compared to Namibia, where they're playing on South African servers. So maybe they have a different strategy for playing on the higher ping because they're used to it now, had that test match. So it'll be good to see all the different aspects coming into play and actually what's happening there. And it's obviously one big thing about this is we can't forget that this is all provided by Partner Media and Zay Academy, who's pushing this so much to be able to have these events in Esports Africa TV on all these different things. And I know there's more and more test matches to come. Hopefully we'll be seeing different games, different matches with different teams. And hopefully we'll just keep on growing and we'll see the team growing. Because I definitely think that was a big shock from that last game.
Yeah, I think to this week we're going to have to see whether the South African team can deal with the adversity they weren't able to deal with in week 2. We've talked a lot about this team being aggressive early on. They like to win games early, and in the first weeks we saw the lanes go their way. They could dominate the game from that. But in the second week, they lost the lanes and they just crumbled after that. They had nothing and they had no response because it looked like as if they hadn't been in that situation before. So you said they've been grinding a lot. So it's going to be good to see whether they can deal with the challenge. As Oscar has said, this is a very strong Peru side. These guys have played with some top tier players who are at, the international. K1 Hector, I believe it's their mid laner has been in a stack with him. And he was a TI last year. So
Safe lane.
These guys,
it's a safe lane as far as I know, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so they're safe. These guys are top players in their regions, though. So whether the South African side can they may have dealt with the challenges from week 2, but it's whether they can apply it to such a strong team. For me, is going to be a big factor today.
Yeah, definitely, and especially because we know it's not a team that, for example, played at the ISF World Championships last year, which at least gave you a bit more to go on. This is a team new coming in, trying to get involved in ISF and things like that. Yes, they've been around for a while, but there's not much to go over. At least, like the Peruvian team can go and research the South African team playing these previous test matches, doing other things, have some background on there. Where now it's purely the boys going off of like a DOTA buff stats and things like that they'll have to go do, and in-game just making that decision. We're going to have to see what they can do and bring it up. Hopefully, yeah, like I said, and you were bringing up that the grind that they're doing is really important. It's something that is really good for them to be doing. And I really hope that it actually pays off and we can see these young boys actually just stepping up and going, because as much as the other team has way more experience, they also have quite a young side on the side of Peru. Their players are all at the age of around 20 years old, 19. The oldest player in the team, if I can put it that way, is their coach, who's 26 years old. He's just sitting there with that experience. He's been playing for a long time, so we'll see that experience coming into the drafting stage and things like that. So we'll have to definitely work on that and see what happens from there.
Yeah. I think, for me, as I said, we've already talked about the South African team playing a lot together. As you said, the Peruvian, they haven't seen a lot of the Peru team, so this could lead to some interesting drafts, maybe. Hopefully able to see some different picks. Me and Oscar we've only seen the 2 series from this region. So we want to see something a bit different from the drafts. We've just had, we've got ESL Birmingham going on at the moment, so they may draw some ideas from that. But they also may put their own spin on it, which I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully, maybe see some crazy picks.
I want to see a techies pick.
Yeah, maybe.
That's always the interesting one. We have to see that.
Yeah. No, so a cheese pick, maybe, and that's what South Africa might have to come up with to deal with maybe what is arguably the strongest side here.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really looking forward to and wanting to see. I really hope to see, like I bring it up every week because it's just so interesting and wonderful to watch. I'm hoping to see a Pudge pick, maybe a nice Invoker in mid, maybe just something that we haven't seen yet from them, and something that I know the viewers at home always enjoy watching. You just see Pudge rotating, going for blind hooks, always just getting some good entertainment and good viewership for the stream. So hopefully we can see something good from there.
I think it's important to mention that these two regions are so different in play style as well. I mean, South Africa's not known for its high amount of professional notoriety, but we've seen a lot of aggressive drafts coming out of them and stuff that we wouldn't be seeing in other regions. Whereas the South American region have a lot to learn from, sharing a server with the rest of the US, and so their drafts might be a little bit more normal, and they might not be ready for the difference in the drafts from the South African side.
Like we bring it up all the time, it's crazy just to see the different people on different servers in the different regions, how different the game style, the players and picks are. So we'll have to see how it goes from there. I know we'll soon be going into showing the matchups and the lineups of everyone that's there. So hopefully we'll be able to see that going through and just see what the team can do. I'm really hoping for, like you guys say, nice good cheese, pick something that is out of the normal and see how that contests against each other. But yeah, I can't wait to see, like we said, two young teams going into each other, one with playing with TI players, one from the South African more unknown region. So we'll have to see from there.
Yeah, I mean, we say the South Africa region is quite unknown. South America, however, has really burst onto the scene in the last year and 2 years, and they've got more and more teams coming through. So I'm sure this is a big deal for these young players, whether, showing themselves off that, they can play in these teams and they've got a chance to go to some of the major tournaments. But yeah, that I'm sure hopefully they take, can use this situation to learn and to maybe develop a roster that within their own roster that can play against these top tier teams.
Yeah, definitely. That's the thing. It's like, the South American team for all different games been bursting in, like when MIBR and things like that burst into the scene for CSGO. And like it just keeps on bursting and bursting more and more. Like we just see people growing. It's no longer you just see America, you just see the Asian teams. Like that's all you always see. And then you brought in Europe, and then you brought in Europe, and now it's good to see it is going global and it's just growing and growing. We will be pulling up the player screens now, so hopefully we can go to that, see what we can be expecting. So it's up on our screen now. As we can see, those are everyone in their positions at the moment, going from top downwards, from your position 1 to position 5. For everyone that doesn't know, your position 1 is your carry. That's who you're expecting to get a lot of farm and things like that. I know Oscar will be able to go into more details of all that stuff, and we'll just be working through. So we'll go from your carry into your mid laner, into your off lane, your soft lane, and then your soft support. So what, Oscar, do you want to break down that and what you see on the screen here?
I think these were taken from the players' Dota buffs, and it's clear that some of the players on the South African side have got a bit of diversity in what they've been playing. They've maybe tried another roles. Maybe that's experience. Maybe that's just camaraderie between the team, that they're happy to play different roles. I think between Lou and Rizzo, they have got quite a flexible player pool between the two of them. But especially Lou, I saw that a lot of his games, he's got 600, 500, 400 plus games on a handful of heroes that, he's able to show a lot of experience.
And he's
in
comfortable
that
with
mid lane.
that. Exactly. Like, especially like when you're saying with the diversity, I know Rizzo and Low, they are people that can flex pick. They're always swapping between that position 1 and mid. So it's always something that you can get a flex pick early and swap it out later if one feels comfortable with the other. Then going into, for those of you guys that are watching that know Dota quite well, you're not just seeing a position for hard soft support. We're having a jug on the picture there. But like you said, this is all for the Dota buff and what they're playing. I know a lot of the South Africans, because it's not as big as servers, a lot of people play more turbo and then all picks. So you see them playing more and more out of meta things like your 5 cores and things like that. So just if anyone is wondering why that is up there, that is definitely the reason that I can think why it would be like that.
I don't think we should flame the turbo and the Orpic players. I know the carry that's won 2 TIs only played Orpic and turbo in the lead up to TI. So the experience comes from somewhere, and it's definitely in the turbo games.
Turbo, the bane of everyone's existence in Dota. It's definitely not something that I enjoy playing as per se, but I would rather prefer having your supports play actually support rather than you getting a position 5 jug trying to steal the CS and farming up. But to each their own. Let's put it that way. To each their own.
Yeah, it's a good place to see some different metas, see some different things. You load into a turbo game, you never really know what to expect, but sometimes you see something good. It's usually bad, but well.
Yeah, definitely. But when you're looking at this team lineups of comparisons for each other, well, like you brought up earlier, Low is I got a lot of games on quite a few heroes. But if you just look at a straight up comparison between the two people, the Peruvian team, as you can see, has way more matches played on their preferred heroes. So it'll be very interesting to see that, and I'm very interested to see what will happen from there and what's going to come out of this game. Like we said, it's going to be one that is I also believe it's going to be a landslide one or the other way. But hopefully we can get a nice proper game that will be able to go longer than 25 minutes, because we broke the 25 minutes last time, which we were quite happy with. So I'm hoping for a 35, 40-minute game, but we'll have to see what happens from there. I don't know if it's going to happen, but, we can always hold on to the hope of that.
Well, that's why you pick the techies.
Yeah.
Techies, that's why we need the Pudge, Techies, and Legion Commander in one thing. Drop 3 bombs, Pudge Hook in Legion Commander duel, and we got the game going.
That might be the only strap back.
There we go.
That's
On
what
your
I want to
local
see.
server, low ping, easy hooks, and I think we will be entertained forever. And I will definitely be glad I won't be casting this game, so you have to cast a Techies game, because that is something I do not want. And definitely shout out to Kashi there. If the Techies get picked, it's the worst thing to be able to have to observe. So for your sake, I hope not. For everyone else's sake, I really hope to see a Techies in this game.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one if Techies is picked. We'll say that. But maybe, Oscar talked about how interchangeable the mid lane and safe lane is for South Africa. A couple of weeks ago, we saw them kind of flexing between the heroes. Rizzo's got the Ember Spirit as his most played hero, which I think is quite important. It's quite a flexible, versatile core that we've seen a lot recently. It's a personal favourite of mine, I have to say. And that may be key to not only their early game aggression, but transferring into the late game and creating space for more the other players in his team. If Lou were to play a more greedy mid like the Morphling that we saw him play and did quite well on, so maybe they might go back to something like that and try and confuse the Peruvian side, who obviously they wouldn't have played against. Well, I didn't believe they've played against before, so they won't be expecting something like that. They might leave them guessing in the draft phase, and that could be pretty important.
But also, like, bringing up the Ember there is, again, it's just another point of that that flex pick, that if you see an Ember coming up, you don't know if they're going into that mid, going into that safe lane, things like that. So it's just being able to throw off that other draft that you'll be able to do. I know the server is getting put up now, so we should be able to head into the server soon. Everyone's just getting ready there. But just off of these stats, what's everyone's thoughts? Where do you guys think the game is going, and what do you see happening off of this game?
I'm gonna play the cynical Englishman role again, and I'm gonna continue to say that I think Peru, after reading their stats, after reading their recent games, I think Burner is someone really to watch, not just in this game but in general. He could be someone that we see kind of take a good name in the Peruvian role. So I think I'm definitely siding with the side of Peru today.
Yeah,
and for you, Ethan?
I want to agree with Oscar, but something inside me just means I can't agree with Oscar. I can never agree with Oscar. So I'm going to go South Africa. I'm hoping they can bring something out the bag that I've talked about. Really hit them hard in their face, just to blow the Peru team away, so that they can't expect what they're thinking in the first 20 minutes. Maybe we can make it to 30 minutes and we have a game. But this Peruvian side, it's got some high skill players. Oscar mentioned Burner, that could be pretty important. But you know what? Got South Africa, please. Go on. Do something special for me.
Okay, awesome. Well, while we keep on talking that, I know the server's going to be going live now, so we should be heading into the draft stage anytime soon. But yeah, the thing that's coming out here, it's just crazy to see what they're doing, and you just see more and more people that are just building up and coming out of nowhere and building into the scene. So hopefully we can and just hopefully see people growing from these different regions, going into professional teams, playing. Hopefully see some people in the TIs and different events.
Yeah, I agree.
I would like to say that that as much as this is an international test match, it's to be taken seriously. I would like these players to have a bit of fun today, and it's not all about playing. Maybe yes, playing to best is important, but playing to have fun is also important.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, we've just seen the battle pass drop. I want some voice lines. I want some BM. Get into their heads. If you lose it, don't give them anything. We haven't really seen that. We've only seen nice, good luck, have fun. So I want BM. I want to get into their heads. Come on, boys.
Okay, we do not condone BMing, but it's always good to see. Preferably, I do not want to see people rage quitting, but it's indefinite. Sometimes that happens, and it's something good to do. We are in that into the draft phase now, and if you can see that first ban straight onto the Ember, definitely, I think they was not expecting that from the side of Team South Africa.
Yeah, from South Africa banning that, which is a bit surprised. Maybe they are worried about Incubus just having the versatile. They just want to have to deal with a lineup that they can recognize. Ember is an extremely popular hero at the moment, as is this Void Spirit. They work, so they kind of do maybe the same sort of things early on. They can just be aggressive and create space if you want to play the Ember that way.
These are both heroes that, if played well, can control a game. And I think if, as I spoke about, these players like Burner, if you're scared of a high skill player, you want to ban these high skill heroes. These heroes that, if they play well mechanically, they are going to destroy you. So I think kind of avoiding that is probably a good idea from Team South Africa.
Yeah, I agree. These bans we're seeing here are in line with the top picks at the most recent big majors, the Birmingham and LA. Timber was a monster in LA, and DP and Ember we're seeing a lot in Birmingham. So that's really no surprise, to be honest. Obviously, drawing some inspiration with their drafting phase from those tournaments. They've been watching those, which
definitely. And like you said, with the DP just got picked, banned out there as well on Team South Africa, with the Undying on the other side, Timbersaw and the Void Spirit being banned out there. What you guys see, any indication from this early draft stage, what can be happening and where you can see this draft going towards?
Yeah, it's clear to see that Team South Africa don't like the heroes that are dead. The Death Prophet and the Undying being removed there. But I think in general, teams that maybe don't have as much experience are scared of an Undying because it's kind of a lane ruiner, and it's kind of if you aren't that coordinated at a team fight, the Tombstone can kind of control where you're going, and sometimes it's just easier to, instead of having to play better to get rid of it, you just remove it, and then you can play your own style of Dota 2.
And then and then we just see out the Kotal ban coming out there from Incubus. I don't think people really want to play against that. It's not a nice person to play in lane. Even that team fight, his ult is so strong. And then straight away that sniper ban. Something interesting as well, guys. What's your thoughts of that sniper? I've been seeing so much position 4 and 5. I don't know if you guys have been seeing on your servers that position 4 5 sniper. What's your guys' thoughts on that compared to you only ever used to see him in mid or sometimes in the safe lane?
I hate him. I really do. He's extremely annoying. That shrapnel would decrease talent, not talent, just cooldown. General, the buff he got is ridiculous, and he's a strong 4. It's a serious thing. I was just about to mention Quap is another of the versatile heroes that's been picked a lot. So no surprise it's banned. The heroes we're looking at are pretty much the most picked heroes, but South Africa moved towards the Bane. I believe they played that one before.
Yeah, we played it last week, if I'm not mistaken, against the Azerbaijan team.
Yeah, Slap picked the Phoenix. Maybe they just want to get their team fight sorted out early. Probably see that hero in the 4, but it can be played 5. Well, it can technically be played. Well, it could be played 3, but I reckon that would most likely be your 4. From
I don't see him going into that position 5.
Yeah, and Ninja's hero for South Africa, the Bane. Plenty of lockdown and disable. Feels just quite nice, kind of the anti-core hero. Stops you doing a lot in fights.
I don't think they've picked the Phoenix to counter the Bane. I mean, it's just probably a comfort pick for them. Yeah. But Bane is not typically great against the Phoenix. Bane likes to be able to be scrappy in lane and kind of trade a lot. Whereas Phoenix is very good at being able to stay back and shoot out the fire spirits from a good range. There's your Bane counter.
Oh, that is okay.
Now, do you think that's the Phoenix going to position 5 and position 4 Clockwork, or do you see that maybe a position 3 Clockwork?
Definitely a position 3 Clockwork. It lanes really well against the Bane. The Bane has no innate way to escape the Clockwork, especially with the slows coming out from the Phoenix. And I think the Bane will just have to sit behind his carry in lane, especially when the Bane is Fiend's gripping from a good range. In the back of a fight, Clockwork is incredible at being able to find those backline heroes and getting on top of them and cancelling what they're trying to do.
Oh, definitely. Just hooking in, going into the cogs. It's always a deathly combo. You never want to be trapped in that.
Exactly.
So what you guys thinking this next pick can be from Team South Africa? Anything you are definitely thinking to see at least in the next pick or in the following picks to come? Or do you guys see...
I have the ultimate pick. And if Ethan Ethan's not going to agree with me here, but Snapfire,
Fire.
right,
Yeah, I was going to
is
say that.
amazing here.
I'm always going to
Snapfire,
agree completely. It
I do
destroys that
not like
egg
playing
early.
against the granny.
I think.
Wait, it's just
Go on.
you can deal with the egg with your support, right? You can, for at least for the early levels of like
Yeah.
and that is just so useful. The Snapfire is also extremely good against the cogs on the clockwork.
She can cookie the person out of the cogs, whoever's stuck in
Yeah.
there with him.
But also then going into the other side, putting an Ogre Mage out with a Bloodlust, also giving that extra attack
Yeah.
speed and things like that, can also just
It's
deal
nice.
with the egg as
Yeah.
well. It's also not a bad pick into it.
It's another, and it kind of helps you destroy the egg. And Ogre also doesn't really mind that too much if he gets gone on by the clockwork. He's tanky. He can kind of just soak up that damage.
Mm-hmm.
5 seconds.
Yeah, he may even be able to catch the Phoenix in the fight, stop him from egging that second early. I don't know. It may be a bit hopeful. It haven't got too much deal with the egg, but as you said, the Bloodlust will help, of course. So they're probably going to look to a high attack speed core to deal with it.
So that you guys are thinking it's Ogre as a position 5, Bane position 4, or vice versa?
I'd like it the other way around.
Yeah, I'd
so
say
prefer it the other way around.
I mean,
but yeah, then with that Pugna ban.
I mean, the Bane is not going to be too greedy this game at all. The Ogre might, if they pick a 3 that isn't too greedy, the Ogre could maybe go with the Midas. It's not too strong an item at the moment, but it does feel nice if you're trying to, transfer into the late game on your Ogre. It's going to be able to start picking up, scythes fairly early for Wizards.
Yeah, definitely. I know, especially on Ogre, what I like to do. I know it's not the norm, but I just rush straight to ulti stick, so I have just an extra stun. Anything to irritate people with the more and more stuns. But it's definitely something I would like to see the Midas, especially if they're planning on going for that late game, like you said.
Just to brush over the bans really quickly, the Pugna is a good ban against the Phoenix draft because Pugna has a great way to stop people from hitting the egg. And Leshrac is just nice generally against these two heroes.
Definitely. The Weaver pick. Everyone's saying that's going into the position 1 in that carry safe lane, Weaver.
I would gamble that is probably the pos one.
It could be the pods one. If it is the pods one, it's going to feel nice. Whilst that egg's pop, nobody's going to be focusing on this Weaver. He's going to be able to just go around the back lines, really add up the damage. The only issue, I haven't got too much protect for the egg from that position 1. If it is there, Necro I think is an extremely strong hero at the moment. It's good against the Weaver.
Yeah, I like the Necro pick into the Weaver, especially there. Just be able to ulti lock him down, so he's not just escaping with that W, running away, scuttling away, things like that. It is a nice pick. I like it personally, but what's your guys' thoughts on that pick?
It struggles against the clockwork.
Yeah.
Go on,
I think that this is them looking at counters directly for each different thing, like you say. It's not.
Yeah, I was saying this Phoenix probably 4 on the clock 3. This Weaver could easily go to a 5 position. Seen it played there with the Agnum's rush. Just the reset. I don't think it's particularly strong, but it's a possibility. And that's your.
So that's okay. Just to clarify, the position 5 is definitely the Shadow Demon now, putting the Weaver into position 1. The Shadow Demon is really nice this game. He has a save called Disruption, which allows him to stop people from getting Fiend's Grip by the Bane, as well as his ultimate basically counters what Necrophos tries to do as a hero. So I think they've kind of walked into a trap here by picking the Necrophos.
Yeah, this feels very nice. And when you can deal with so many heroes with your 5 position like this, it does deal a lot of problems. And they've still got to address this egg on the side of South Africa.
Yeah, Snapfire would have been so nice.
So do you have any thoughts on what this pick's going to be?
I would like to see their safe laner picked here so they can give Lou a more advantageous pick at the end.
I do agree with that.
They need team fight as well. This Bane isn't bad in team fights. He's strong against the Weaver as well if you can get the Weaver locked down. But the Clockwork can cancel it at decent range, as can the Shadow Demon.
I don't hate PL. I think PL is nice in lane with the Ogre. He likes the Bloodlust. Doesn't care too much about the Shadow Demon or the Weaver. Can easily get out the clock stuff.
I do like the PL pick. Yeah, I think it would be very strong.
I think go for the Bristleback.
Okay.
That's nice in lane.
Yeah. Go on.
It's nice in lane against the Phoenix and the clock, because he doesn't care too much about the Ras and he can trade very easily. Doesn't that bothered about the Weaver. I mean, the damage is there, but it's it's not a lot, but it also allows them to kind of have this flex pick where they know
10 seconds
what heroes they
remaining.
have, but where they put the Bristleback or where they put the Necrophos is kind of interchangeable here.
5 seconds
Yeah,
remaining.
definitely.
I think
It's going to have to be interesting to see. I would like to see what happens from that as well. The Necro, that's literally what I was just going to bring up to you. What do you think he's going into? But yeah, we're going to have to wait for the flex pick. What's your thoughts on the Lycan ban there?
they're lacking a lot of push on the side of South Africa. Lycan probably one of the best pushers in the game at the moment with that Necro book. Can also
Definitely.
deal with the egg decently
Yeah.
well. Weaver doesn't like going against it too much. I mean, the clock can get on top of the Lycan, but
10
it's just
seconds
such a
remaining.
strong hero at the moment. It's just nice to get rid of.
5
In
seconds
terms of
remaining.
what I think, maybe Peru might need a bit of tankiness out their mid. I don't know. The clock might be able to provide that, but this weave they got. I think they need some sort of protect for the egg. That it, they've got the disruption on the Shadow Demon and the clock, but a slight bit more because South Africa don't look to be addressing the egg. So if they can protect it up, it's going to be a real big problem.
Yeah, what do you think South Africa needs for this last pick? Obviously, with the Viper ban there, what do you think needs to round out this team to be able to have a nice team fight, take out the egg, and actually be able to fight against this Incubus team from Peru?
They have the option of putting the Necrophos mid, so they could have this could be the safe lane, but I personally quite like the idea of having Lu on a stylish hero that can do a lot more. So I'd like to see
10
something
seconds remaining.
like Storm Spirit could be okay. Can get out the cogs quite easily and can dash around. There's not that many hard stuns on the side of Incubus.
After looking at the stats and things, what's your thoughts on an Invoker, something like that?
I was Invoker's all right.
Okay, I like that. That's I think it's good against the clock. For be able to quite easily able to jump out of his little traps. Good against the Phoenix, has a high attack speed. And again, the Weaver can get quite nicely scienced up. I think the Riki covers quite a lot of bases here.
Yeah. So what do you see? Who's going into what positions? Your thoughts here?
Probably move that Necro mid and the Bristle into the offlane career.
That's what I was guessing as well. Against position 1.
A beaker being on the line can deal with the egg, or they can just disengage from it.
Yeah.
I don't think the supports may struggle a bit. Bristle's not going to care too much if he's tanky enough, and the Riki can blink away.
Yeah. What's your guys' thoughts for this last pick on the side of Team Peru? Do you think they'll be able to take the edge over? What do they need to be able to take this game?
What do you think, Ethan?
I'm struggling to think here because a lot of the strong heroes are banned. The Viper ban was very nice. Actually. Where do they go with here? I said they maybe need a bit more protect for the egg. They have got a decent amount in clock and Shadow Demon. Weaver's going to be able to deal damage on the back.
Okay.
Okay.
Incubus are having a bit of fun here.
Is this the mid Beastmaster, right?
I'm not
The
sure.
niche mid?
Definitely will be interesting to see what happens from there.
I mean, Niche has been playing this hero mid and looks extremely strong.
Against
It is.
Necro. Okay, this is interesting. Finally, a bit of fun. It's quite a push draft, but
Yeah.
I think this is a nice, well-rounded draft by Incubus. They have good team fight and they have good late game potential. But do they have enough to really fight into the side of South Africa? I'm not sure, actually.
Okay,
I don't know.
So before I head off and you guys head into your game, just quickly, what your guys' thoughts? Who's going to take this game? What do you see happening? And what's your prediction for this game?
If Beastmaster can get enough farm, which he should be able to do a decent amount in the mid lane, I feel he's going to really just amp up the damage. And I think they might just run him over with the egg timing.
Okay. So you guys are looking at, you guys are on board a Team Peru taking this first map?
Yeah. As much as I want the South Africa team to, it's probably going to be Peru.
Well, hopefully we can see an upset, hopefully a long game. Any ideas or guesses what you guys think how long this game's going to take? Do they need to end it early or is it going to be a long game?
21 minutes, 40 seconds.
21 minutes, 40 seconds. We heard it first here from Oscar. We'll see if that's right. Good luck for you guys. Game, guys. Enjoy.
Thank you so
Everyone,
much.
to the viewers, enjoy your cast. And I'll see you guys afterwards for an after-game report.
Alrighty.
Ethan.
Hello.
How one-sided do we believe this draft is?
Oh, fairly. I don't think it's ridiculously one-sided. But I do like this Beastmaster is just going to be allow them to push the advantage very early. I think this Riki and this Bristle need items to be able to deal with this team, especially, and the Shadow Demon's he's gonna make Necro nothing. It's really gonna make Necro not a hero, at least early on, until there's more items on the Necro as well. I don't know what you think.
30 seconds.
I think
to
there's a lot of
battle.
plays to be made this game. I think if South Africa have been working on their strats, they've been thinking about what they're doing, they can actually look at this and think, if we kill the egg, how much damage do they have? You know, if we catch the Shadow Demon, how much damage do they have? Can we play the smart here? You know, as they trade up the Clockwork in the top lane, looking for the first blood with the slows and the stunts. Ninja Llama taking a bit of damage, but I don't think he's in any threat here. They might lose the rune, but they're just going to lose a little bit of life. The Bristle actually dropping in the bot lane. Talk about a feisty combo coming out. Getting that early first blood onto the side of Peru.
What's the split? Is that 3-to-1 split? Yeah. 3-to-1
Yeah,
split
the
on the
damage
bounties.
is not going to be enough here to kill Youngblood. He's going to take a hefty bit of damage only from the level 1 of the Shadow Rays, using all of his mana to be able to get those stacks onto him.
A lot of early aggression down in that bottom lane, but he hasn't got any mana, so they might be okay for the first couple of levels while the Shadow Demon recovers. We've seen a lot of, it's mainly been Nisha, right, playing this Beastmaster mid.
Yeah, it's a little bit unorthodox actually. I don't know what to say about this matchup. I think Necro are quite comfortable against these strength heroes and might do quite well, but also might feel that once the Beastmaster's got a few levels, he might be able to run him out of lane.
Yeah, I think the boar is going to be a big part of them, but a micro on the boar. It's going to be able to slow the Necro as well, so the Beastmaster can get on top and just deal a decent amount of burst damage, maybe the raw, maybe the rotation, the Clockwork.
Just seen a lovely play there from the Clockwork, actually using the creeps to block both of the camps in the dire side so that there's no pull potential coming out as he's stacking the waves. A lovely little play there. In the bot lane, seeing a bit of damage coming out from the Shadow Demon onto the two heroes, actually being zoned by one support. Doesn't feel great on the Bristleback, and the Ogre not able to do too much to trade back.
This Phoenix offlane, isn't it?
Phoenix is farming. I think this might be a bit of a 3.5 and 3.5 scenario.
Yeah.
They both feel like they need farm this game. Neither of them needs to be super farmed, so that's kind of the strategy this game.
Yeah, going with that early Bassy as well from the mana regen against the do decent amount of AoE damage to him. He's not going to be able to shot too well. Going to this, I think, you know, Beastmaster early, quite a big early advantage on Lou on the Necro there.
What do you think about this mid lane as my mid lane expert? What do you think about this matchup?
You call me a mid lane expert. I'm expert at losing the mid lane, so I'm going to have to go with Lou here on the Necro. It's going to feel annoying this board. I don't think Necro is going to love dealing with the two targets, as Ninja Llama is copying a lot of damage here. Goes down to the burn of the Phoenix. He's going to taunt, drop an egg away, but back to the mid lane. The Necro is going to struggle to get.
I just had a microphone from there. The mid lane trading quite nicely. I think the Beastmaster getting a little bit more than he should, and Lou not being aggressive he could. In the bot lane, actually, a lot of stacks coming out onto the Beastmaster. He's actually stuck in the illusions. Oh, that's an unfortunate place to drop. That's an unfortunate time to drop your microphone as you explain in the mid lane.
That is my microphone good. Good. I think, you know, Lou's already out of mana mid, right? We saw that, and this boy is going to keep slowing him down. He has with no mana, he's got no way to, number one, deal with the ball or, you know, heal himself, which Necro has on heavily. And the Beastmaster is going to be able to push in the lane, control it quite nicely. He's going to have to fly out a lot of mana regeneration to himself. But just look at the Clockwork here. He's able to just control the lane or the creeps, and really Riki's getting not a lot, considering, you know, how not passive, but how, you know, the Phoenix is playing fairly far back, and this Bristle is just getting body bottom. Just hates the Shadow Demon hero, right? He's cursing. He's in that Discord, and he is not happy that they picked Shadow Demon, and neither is the Ogre. The Ogre doesn't like it too well. And again, just looking at the side, you're gonna have to ferry out a lot of mana regeneration. There's Ninja like
kill combo in the top lane. Ping maybe being in a factor, or just the skill coming out from the side of the Peruvian side. This kill lane with the stuns and the slows is not feeling good on the side of Bane.
I mean, we haven't mentioned that yet. They are on the Peru side. South African Peru. My geography isn't the best, but it's fairly far away. Mid lane. That's not good.
That's not good. A rotation only from the clockwork there to kill the Necrophos.
Yeah. This clockwork hero can rotate quite nicely and can be able to get on top fairly well, especially with the boar slow. But yeah, we got ping issue. Peru are at the advantage for this first game, which may be an excuse, but it might not be an excuse for the Bristol to go down here. That's a lot of stacks, and here comes Burner.
Gonna take a lot of burst damage in a second. Can they slow him down enough? The Weaver's stunned up, but the bomb coming out from the Shadow Demon. They might actually find some more training as Lou goes down solo to the mid lane of the Beastmaster, and the Weaver's gonna walk away as the Ogre's gonna get right-clicked down by the Demon. This laning stage, and the Bane's gonna drop too. I think Peru listened to me last time thinking, you know what? They played clock and they played it badly. Let's teach them. This is an educational lesson on how to play clockwork. And Kyle is showing them exactly how they need to play this hero.
And the Beastmaster is going to be able to accelerate his farm as well with the boars. He's going to be the Helmut Dominator already. He's going to be able to flash down the close camps.
39 and 10.
Lou sitting there 16 and 3.
Oh, here we go. The most important part of the game, the Wakamipo.
Is this the part of South Africa?
The Necro leading the pack here. 6 already. The Beastmaster, he's only got the 1, but the Unpause is there. It's going to stop it from happening. He's not going to get it.
Is Lou playing the wrong game? Should he be playing CS with that in?
Lou should be playing Wakamipo. Those reactions were incredible.
So, is there any way? I don't know. It's already looking very bad for the South Africa side. I said that, they're used to winning their lanes when they win games, and they had no kind of response. But have they got a comeback mechanism to this game?
The rotation onto the mid lane is 3 levels ahead on the Necro. Lou is level 4 in 6 minutes. This Beastmaster is dominating this lane with Kyle's little assist, a little salt on the side to make it a little bit easier for them.
It's alright though, his courier is back. Look at the positives of South Africa. The couriers are really respawning. This clockwork, getting into vision as well. He's just going to help him grow more and more. And that's a good start on trying to, recover, get some stacks going. Bristle is pretty decent at farming these stacks. I don't know how well he's going to be able to do it early on because he's not getting.
Bristle. He's going to lose another one on this bot lane. The Weaver finding more, and Kyle's here to stop the Bristle from escaping. The right click's coming out from the Weaver, and he's going to drop once again in the bot lane. Javelin already finished.
And just go from bad to worse. It's 12
Both cores have died behind their towers. The Phoenix actually managed to solo kill the Riki without only using 1 spell.
Oh dear, this is not going well. They're going to struggle to recover. They're going to struggle to recover as well. They've got no comeback mechanism. We're seeing early timings. They've already got that egg going. That Weaver's already got his. He's got his time lapse, and the Bane is nowhere near being able to get any form of lock to him. And your T2 is going at 7 minutes, Oscar. I mean, I've heard you rage a lot less in pubs. I've heard you rage when mid laners lose their T1 at 7 minutes, let alone their T2.
This is a little bit of an upset with the replay showing Ninja Llama dropping top lane there. I think that was beginning and the end. Another one coming out showing just how dominant the side of Peru were able to be. Just really, we've come here with a better side today. You're on our ping, that might be our advantage, but we're just gonna make you realize that yes, it's too strong. The real game in the replay. So many kills onto the Bristle as well. Just a montage of pain. It's like a Rambo film as they lose the Lou in the mid lane once again. We're coming back to real life to show the Riki has already dropped. Roar out onto the Lou. He's actually gonna die once again.
Oh, they're having to babysit the Necro mid, and then the Riki's left top. The Riki's going down. They go top to sort him, and then the Necro's getting dived onto T2s. And your Bristleback, your big tanky hero is running back. He's limping back to the fountain at 8 minutes, level 4 against the level 7 Burner Weaver. Oh dear, towers are falling all around you.
The net worth says it all. You've got these 3 cores with so much CS. The Riki only on 22, and there's a 10k lead already coming out from the side of Peru.
Oh, to make things bad.
I think the Shadow Demons realise he's outnumbered. Can they find anything? But the Beastmaster's wrapping from the outside. The creep's there to slow down. Can they find more? As they bring in more to the side, the Ogre's going to drop, but the stack might actually do a bit of work here. The Ninja Llama, he's just trying to run away. His team have left him, but the Weaver's going to find one more. A dominating streak. But they do find the SD. They're on the board. I always say, better be on the board than off the board. And now, they're on it.
It was a trap. The Shadow Demon was nicking your stack. You're trying to stop him, but he collapsed from the safe lane. Weaver, Nisha, they're quite mobile heroes. Weaver can get across the map quite nicely. The middle lane is Beastmasters. That's pretty much his part of the map anyway now. It shouldn't be, but it is. So he can rotate whenever he wants. And is he really going to knock on the T3 at 9 minutes? He is. He's got no fear this.
Oh, lose early level 5. The stun comes out onto the Beastmaster. It's a little bit isolated here. Can they slow him down? But they have no levels. They have no ultimates to be able to kill this guy. The Necro comes out. The Roar turns around. The Egg's going to be there for the Phoenix in a second. And it's there. Louis dropped. The Nightmare comes out to walk away. They can't find anything more. But I'm trying to hype cast a dead horse right now. 11k up in 9 minutes. And they're going to knock on the doors of the high ground. Knocking on heaven's door here for the side of Peru. Can this get any worse, Ethan?
I have one question. When do you call GG?
21 minutes 40 seconds. I think they should call GG.
that would be very convenient. But I don't know if it's going to
He's stuck on the high ground, but he's going to burn down the bait. Can Lou actually kill him without his ult? But the clock's there to stop him. Oh, we get the TP cancel. On their own side, they're memeing on them now. Trying to find more. He's going to use the Sunrays, gets to the low ground, and Lou level 5, wishing he had his ultimate. The Clockwork actually going to drop. They find one kill. Does he get the level 6 from it? No, he doesn't. But the Beastmaster doesn't stop him from being able to get anything more from this little high ground engagement.
The Phoenix just going to fly away, taunting. The Necro just got no level 6. He's got no Reaper Scythe, no way to put them down. And they're just taking your stack now. This was your only way back into the game, and it's gone. It's hard. Everything's collapsing around them. You know, this isn't a storm. This isn't even a game.
They feel like they have a play here, but the disruption's already out onto the Necrophos. Can they find him? Weaver dropping a little bit low, but he's able to time that out, and Ninja Llama trying to block the Shadow Demon from getting any closer. He's going to lose his life for it. And the Ogre trying to get some damage out. But Rizzo, he's going to find the Beastmaster. Does he have enough damage? Oh my god, the Beastmaster, your tanky core, he's going to drop immediately. Nothing, no life. And the Necro, he's in, he tries to find the side, but he just gets roared before he can cast anything. The ping maybe playing a factor there, but I think the Shore level is just too high, and they cannot fight into this 14k network lead.
Oh, Rizzo, you know, he's blaming the ping. You know, this ping roll from Rizzo. I don't know if that's the only factor into this game, but yeah, he'll be able to show on the South Africa server that maybe.
I can't do anything but laugh in this series. I feel like this is a great learning experience, but it's also one of those things where you might just have to just leave and just move to the next. Let them take your barracks. Wait until 21 minutes 40, so I just have those bragging rights on the panel. But I think I'm looking more at a 21k gold lead more than I am a 21-minute finish.
Oh my god, yeah. It's 15k gold lead at 12 bats. You know.
He's finding the jump away. The cogs onto the TP. They find the Bane. There's nothing to cast here. The Egg's there. Do they have any chance to kill it? The slows are out. Luge are trying to run away. The disruption there actually going to save the Ogre from the stun. But Rizzo, the mid laner, might just get 1v1 with the scythe coming out. Do they have enough damage? He just doesn't get it with the scythe. Oh, he doesn't get the uphill miss, but on the background, the Phoenix able to find more and more. But Kyle and the Phoenix, the combo, the top lane, dealers of damage, are going to find the Lu. The Lu, he's going in the Lu. He's going to drop. Can they find Rizzo now? Can Rizzo find anything? He's going to jump to the Phoenix, but it's the damage too much. Is he too tanky? The ult's there. The GG is called a little bit early. The good luck next.
Oh.
Lu feeling this is a little bit rough now. And I may have been a bit skeptical, but I think I might have been correct.
Yeah, I'm going to have to give that one to you. But you were still about 9 minutes off that 21 minutes. It feels like it was 10 seconds ago we said goodbye to Jesse.
We were 1 kill off 3-2-2.
Who you flaming for that? Who's messed up there?
I think we have to say that the Phoenix, for me, carrying that game, looking like he may have just carried that bot lane, not letting Rizzo get any farm, as well as, the Beastmaster being able to do a lot. But I feel like the Phoenix, he's a support, but no, he's going to show you how to play it as a core. And he made it look incredible in that match, regardless of ping, regardless of skill gap.
I mean, we give the MVP to the Phoenix, but it was kind of just a 5-man, rundown of this South Africa team. They had nothing in response, but there wasn't really too many big plays there. It was just kind of dominating the laning stage and running at them with a Beastmaster that proved the perfect last. Pick up the Necro, pick up the Dom early, and say goodbye to your towers.
Yeah, definitely, guys. I'm back and I am here. That game was a stomp. What we were not hoping for, that was just rough to witness, rough to watch, and
He had
I have
99
no
GPM.
words.
Oh,
I have
God.
no words after that.
He had less than 100 gold a minute there on Ninja Llama. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
But he did get some
all
building
the
damage.
hours.
He did get some building damage, and that is the positive. That's the only on this team.
Round of applause to Ninja Llama for
Big
getting the
carry
building
there.
damage there.
Just
I think from an outside perspective there, Jesse, what did you think?
That was a stomp. I'm still stuck and lost for words. That game from, I said the best time there South Africa had was before the game started, but that was
Yeah,
about
the
it.
draft
That
phase
was
looked
just
nice
really
for them.
rough. We couldn't do much. That loading in as soon as that Weaver and then went in, they get the double kill before first bounty
Oh,
runes were
jeez.
selected. That's when I knew it was going to be quite a rough game, and I just was not expecting anything else after that start.
I mean, we were asking for a 30-minute game. We might get one if we combine the times of the two games together. But 12-minute GG does not feel good. It's good. I know he blamed it on ping there, Rizzo. Well, he didn't blame it, but he mentioned the ping. But whether that's going to play a big enough factor going into the next game, if they're going to actually be able to formulate any sort of response.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to see, and what happens from there, I'm not sure. Hopefully, like you say, we can see something different on South African ping, maybe better for that, and hopefully it was just a ping that made it such a hard game. But just purely based on skill level, there it did look like the Peruvian team had the upper hand, and I am hoping not for the same result, but I would not be surprised if I had to see the same result coming out in that game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to be pessimistic about the South Africa side, but I think we just saw an outskilling. We talked about these Peru players, top players in their region. They played with some really good, some people that have been to TI. This is top level Dota. South Africa team, they aren't bad themselves, but they aren't at that level yet. They're all young. They've been playing together, and maybe one day they will get there, and they can use experiences like this, where they are going to be learning off much better players. But it's how much you can learn in 12 minutes and 40 seconds. I don't know. It was a clear skill gap. And
so just now taking out the skill gap there, what do they do in this game to try and make the next one more competitive? Do you see a different type of draft? Do you see something completely different? What works to actually be able to get there and be able to do something different?
You've got to approach the game completely different, right? From the draft stage all the way through to the laning stage, you've got to go with something just radical that you hope the Peru side haven't seen, whether that be a cheese pick or just, I don't know, try no mid. That's a stupid idea, but something. Right? You've got to do something different, drastically different. Oscar?
Yeah, I get that. So do we... but you guys, after that game, you expecting the same result? Do you think the ping's going to play a difference to the Peruvian team, or what you guys seeing happening here? Who do you want to see banned in that next game? Who do you want to see picked from each team? What's your guys' thoughts on that?
Get rid of this Phoenix and Clockwork. I think they have to think about just making sure that they win at least one lane, and maybe winning one lane, you can transfer that success to the other lanes. Maybe pick like a Lunar IO plus Earthshaker, this kind of roaming stack that doesn't need that much items and can do a lot of damage early on, and hopefully just run them over. I think the true success coming up from South Africa might just be in the pause games, and if they can win those, that is definitely a moral victory.
Yeah, that is the key to Dota, right? If you win the pause games, you're in the head. Mentally, you're ahead. Whack a Meepo and finding the correct heroes is the top skill in Dota possible.
It is.
Well, guys, if you want to take that game into consideration, the fastest ever game for TI was 11 minutes and 22 seconds, so they did better than that, but not by much.
Oh dear.
Oh jeez. At least these South African teams have got some kind of TI level experience there then.
Yeah, definitely. But I really want to see completely different types of draft, different different types of things, get those bans out. But I'm really hoping that it was a ping making a difference. Like you're saying, you have to win one lane or something. Hopefully, we can see Low get a nice pick that he can win that mid, or they get on that safe
Yeah.
and just winning at least one, or maybe in contesting a close other lane, be able to take it towards more that late game. Or maybe we just see the complete reverse on the lower ping, but we're going to have to wait and see what happens from there.
I mean, Oscar mentioned something like an IO pick. Maybe you could look into something like one, just going for a big carry and just 1v5 in, creating space for him, having heroes, support, even your mid lane that can just buff this hero. You look at heroes that do that, like TB maybe. Doesn't feel too good with the IO, but Gyrocopter and IO, just a classic strong combination. Should be able to win the lane quite well. Should be able to transfer, get a decent farm, have some decent damage in the late game. And if things do go wrong for the Gyro, the IO can take him out, reset the fights. But
like you say, anytime you have a pick with that IO, the Gyro IO, Tiny IO, some combo like that, just something that is really strong in that lane, do that hectic damage, be able to give them that opportunity that they can at least win that initial fight and that initial early laning stage. And I really think it's important that they don't give up two kills before the actual game starts. Things like that. It's just a lot of things just snowballed. They weren't able to ever pick up from there. So it's definitely something that we need to watch and just see what happens, because we're hoping to see something different.
Yeah, they might be able to recognize that they're going to get out in lanes, and they just draft themselves a combat mechanism, a strong high ground lineup where they can stall out the game. Big team fights, they're going to be on the better ping here, so they might be able to. They give themselves the advantage of Enigma or something. We saw them pick it up. It wasn't great when last time they picked it up, but they were on the high ping. Yeah, that was on the high ping. So on the low ping, it might be a lot more lethal. Be able to lock down a lot of because even if they've got more skill, if 4 of them are trapped in a black hole, that they can't do anything.
Yeah, definitely. It's something that we're going to have to look at, and they're going to have to take into consideration all these different things to be able to do it. Do you think now for this draft, like you're looking at it like that, but do you think they want to move it more into a aggressive early game draft and try and end it the same as Peru? Do you think they want to take it on to a late game draft on the lower pings, that when you are full 6 slotted with a proper hard carry or mid lane and things like that, that it goes to that? Or what's your thoughts?
I would. You can blame Ping for this game, but you also have to think about, you still lost all 3 of your lanes quite considerably. The draft looked quite favored for Peru, and if you want to try and think about the late game against a team that probably will make better late game decisions than you, better map decisions than you might struggle to kind of get that MVP slot.
Yeah, now as you can see on your guys' screen, we are going into the MVP list. Like you brought up the Phoenix there, just some stats. Going 10-0-3 on a position 4 Phoenix, that is crazy. 568 XPM, 518 GPM. It's just crazy. The net worth there, it's just something you're not expecting on a position 4 exactly, especially that early in the game. What's your guys' thoughts on that and how well that Phoenix actually played that game?
Was it a 4 or was it a 3 Phoenix? I thought it was possibly a 3.
I think it was a bit of both.
3.5.
Yeah, I think it was started off as a 4, as I could see, but then as soon as they were winning that lane, he went in that position 3 because everyone was just having farm. It's not like we had enough time to actually see where it built into.
Yeah, they were able to identify in that top lane that if they split the farm nicely between the clockwork and more lent towards the Phoenix, he was going to be able to deal with this Riki a lot, and then he just from that took over the top lane, joined his Beastmaster mid, and just engaged in fights. Kind of roamed around, kept alive very nice. We saw him get low at times, but he was using egg, he was dive to get away and just also keep his team. So he just did a good job. They won all 3 lanes and kind of just was able to rotate nicely along with the clockwork and just kind of this at mid lane where to the point where they're going, high ground at 12 minutes and the GGs.
Yeah, definitely. Just being able to see, like you saw how quickly they took that, the tier 2s, tier 1 pushes. The GG was called, and yeah, there wasn't really much they could do there. I don't think there is much we can really talk about that game. Like we said, there wasn't really a lot to go on, and it was just a quick stomp. So I think we'll be going into a break, and then after that, we'll go into the scoreboards and everything like that. And we can talk about that game before leading up into the next one. Yeah, then we're going into break now, guys. So stay tuned. We'll be back in about 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minute little break, just get everyone ready for the next server, and hopefully we see a more contested game afterwards. Thank you for joining us, and keep watching on esportsafrica.tv. Bye, guys. Hello guys and welcome back to this test match between Team Peru versus Team South Africa. That first game was quite the stomping, but hopefully we can see something different. I know we do have the scoreboards and things to be able to look through and see what happened in that game. I think we can go through that and then hopefully we can put that game behind us and actually be able to push into someone properly. As you can see, some highlights coming up from here. Just some stomping, some more kills, everything that went through. Let's just, do you want to talk through what happened in all these fights and all these kills that were happening?
I think we can see a lack of damage. Just they got so bodied early on. They got dealt with so early on. They're so behind on net worth and levels that it was just over them going into any sort of what was the mid game of that game about around 7 minutes. They just had no damage to deal with. The Beastmaster was fairly tanky and get rid of this egg. I don't know what Oscar thinks.
I think the reason this looked so bad and the reason that I would like to see a change in the laning was because Ninja Llama, you know, he's a good Bane player, but when you're laning against such a ridiculous kill combo, you really got to play safer, or you've got to play with more kill presence. So, you know, he was roaming around on his own doing things and he could just get jumped on by this clockwork, and this Phoenix could do whatever it wanted. You know, he could just fire spirits out, blah blah blah, attack the enemy carry, etc. etc. They need to think about tri-laning. I said this last time. They need to think about tri-laning and setting up one lane for success.
Yeah, that's literally what I was going to bring up. Like we talked about the last game, I definitely think that tri-lane would have been so good and something like that. But yeah, hopefully they do be able to change to something or do something different to that effect. But I don't know how likely that is. What I definitely would like to see is to see a Spirit Breaker come back out. You remember in that first game in Namibia how good that was, and I want to see them. I think they also tried to overanalyze it now, going towards changing how their team draft work and things. I think purely now, especially with the ping advantage on theirs, I'd like to see them go back to their original strategies and what they normally do. Hopefully, we can see them go back to that. But now on your guys' screen, you can see the scoreboard there. Just look how crazy those stats are. That is uncomprehendable. It's crazy. When their position at the position 5 on Incubus has a higher net worth, then okay, just the Bane had a better net worth, I think, because he got the 1 kill. But other than that, position 5 above all your cores, that's when you know that you are really struggling.
I think there's not much to take from this other than they just need to think about playing better Dota. I think they have to think about their laning configurations, they have to think about their trading, they have to think about their draft. And I think, if anything, this highlights that what they did was wrong. And hopefully from this they can learn, and they can learn and think, next time, you know, what can we learn from what they did? How did they beat us in the lanes? Yes, it was an absolute trouncing, but you know, we're a good team. We can learn from this, and we can take what they had and put it in our own repertoire of skills.
Definitely.
Yeah. I think they've maybe got to look towards picking some lane winners, maybe, and just feeling free enough to just go for the lane matchups that are going to win. You know, look for, maybe not stick to the conventional, let's safe lane. The safe lane, let's look for the lane match. Let's put him on the off lane. He's going to do better there. He's going to be able to get more farm. He's going to get more support. He's not going to be able to get pressured as much. Maybe we can go from there. We talked about maybe having a 1v5 situation where they just try and put everything on Cora. Maybe he can carry you. But whether, you know, that's whether Rizzo feels comfortable that he's got the mechanical skill, I should be able to deal with a team, as we said, that are probably better.
Yeah, guys, so we will be going into our next game soon. The lobby will be going live, so hope we can get into that draft. I'm really hoping to see them go back to what they do and going to change into what they going back to their normal strategies and what has worked for them in the past against Namibia, things like that. I think it's going to be hard against a team of this caliber, but hopefully we can see a bit of a different outcome than the other one, and it's not finished so quickly.
I think this is the time to this is the time to change these problems. They can sit here and think about their draft and think, you know, we're on our ping now, we're on home turf with the home crowd. You know, we can hopefully put those things behind us in the last game. Think about what they did and implement them into this game.
Yeah, definitely. Any bans or picks you are 100% expecting to come out here on the side of Team South Africa or Incubus for that matter?
What do you think, Ethan?
They might just try and target the heroes that they couldn't build last game. You know, maybe they just feel, okay, let's not play against them again. Let's reset. Let's go for something different this game. But I'm sure this Peru's hero pool is going to be much larger than hero each. So it's going they might just get well if they do that. The problem is they leave open these heroes that are being played like the Quap, like the Ember, like the DP that's so strong. And these high skill level heroes on this high skill level team is just it's gonna
Definitely. And then, but also if you look at that respect ban coming straight out from Team Incubus, getting out of the Necro, do you think that's a respect ban or they just don't want to play against the Necro? What's your thoughts on that ban?
It's just a strong hero at the moment, and if played well, it can dominate a game. It can be too hard to kill.
Yeah.
I think South Africa have got a bit of PTSD from the old Beastmaster.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I see with the Beastmaster ban and that both mid laners banning each other. Do you think they didn't enjoy that lineup against each other?
I think the South Africa ban is definitely we couldn't beat it. I think the Incubus ban is more of a
I don't want to play against it.
You don't want to play. It's a good hero. Like, just get rid of it. Just get rid of it.
Yeah, now we see that Techies ban, which makes me quite disappointed. As I said, I really want to see that Techies game coming out, but I think Team South Africa is more scared of Incubus going with that cheese pick, trying to have some fun, get things like that, because it's never fun playing against the Techies. So I'm not surprised for that ban, if I can put it that way.
Yeah, that might have been one of the few ways. I don't know. They're gonna need a lot to deal with this, but you know, get rid of that tech. He's just not my hero. That's right. Nobody wants to play against. Only a few people.
Yeah, definitely. It's not something that I think anyone ever enjoys playing against. It's someone that you're always happy to have on your team. Not really even for most of the part, but it's just better to have on your team than against. But yeah, you see a lot of those, the cheese heroes. I think they are banning. I won't be surprised to get another cheese ban from South Africa here, but we'll have to see. Any thoughts on these last two bans on Team South Africa before going into the picking stage?
I think you need to think about banning the heroes that are good on low ping. So getting rid of the techies, the best low ping hero. You don't have to play the game really. And banning the DK, you just point and click. You don't need the best ping in the world to be able to do it.
Yeah, but remember that Team South Africa's it's on South African server this time, and then they're the ones banning it. So I don't think it's more that. I think it's just something that they don't want to play against, even on that high ping.
Yeah, I think, but they're banning the low ping heroes because Incubus is going to be playing. Sorry, they're banning the high ping heroes.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Okay. It's like it just was not making sense there. But yeah, I get exactly what you're saying. That Phoenix ban coming out from Incubus, I wouldn't have been surprised it came out from Team South Africa after that performance, and the Viper ban the same as the last game. Any ideas for this first picks coming through? Oh, that was a very quick pick. First pick. What's your thoughts on that?
Maybe they don't want South Africa and Ninja Lion to have it. I think when I've seen him play his best game, it was on the Kotal. He knew how to play around his ult very nicely. And he knew the distancing. He needed to keep in fights, but it's possible that Incubus just want themselves. They want to secure some team fight early on.
10 seconds remaining.
Presence if he's put with the correct heroes with an Ember that's still in, as well as Bristle. But we see the heroes that were banned last time. The Ember, the Quap, the DP. Made in return, Jakiro picked. Good lane shove is the main thing of Jakiro. From your position 5 can deal with the lanes quite nice.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said,
go on, sorry.
I don't know, I was saying, it's like you were saying earlier, they want to be able to push out those lanes, try and get someone to be able to actually win that early game laning stage.
10 seconds
I think it's important, like you said, for Team South Africa to be able to try and win those lanes.
5 seconds remaining.
This is definitely a start for the lane winning then, if that's what they're trying to go for.
Yeah, definitely.
I think the Jakiro is nice because you can put it in lane. It's going to be able to bully, especially when you put it with the Nature's Prophet. Heroes that don't particularly rely on stuns, but the combo of the sprout into the slow, it's quite obnoxious to lane against.
Team back.
Yeah.
Straight into that Bristle pick.
About that combo, the Kotal Ember, the Kotal Bristle. So annoying to deal with, and the Bristle and the Kotal can both deal with the Nature's Treant, so you can't really put that Nature's up against them. You're going to have to put your safe laner up against the Bristle, and they're going to have to pick something that can deal with it, which is quite...
Did you see that Nature's going into that core role? Did you see them moving because of that, going into a position 4, something like that, roaming?
I'd like to just stick it in the off lane.
Yeah, I mean we've seen it played mid quite recently, quite a bit. I don't think that's necessarily a loose sort of hit. But it's the global
5
presence is
seconds
nice, I
remaining.
guess, at least.
Yeah,
If you do put it in that spot, it's going to feel quite free and nice to gank, and to help the side lanes. But if you put it in that off lane, it's going to stay a bit more static in that lane. But it's it's a strong hero, can pressure decently the off lane with the treants if they're safely doesn't have a way to deal with them.
yeah, definitely.
I mean, this is probably going to be your 4-eye on this Cole because you want to lane it with the Bristle, who you're going to most likely put in the off lane.
Yeah,
So you're going to have to pick something that can kind of lane shove and return against this treant, against this treants from your 5.
yeah. So, what's your guys' thoughts? Any specific ban is he coming out here trying to round off this? I know there's not that many bans left. Obviously, seeing the Void ban on the side of Incubus, not wanting to play against that. Do you see a specific ban coming out for the Zeus ban? What's your thoughts on that?
Radiant
And what do you think they're
team
going to
pick.
start picking into this this lineup now?
Zeus ban.
I think the Zeus is again a hyping hero that you don't. It's not particularly super skill based. Obviously it's high skill, but it's you don't have to rely on having good ping as much. But it's
Yeah,
also really nice against the natures because he likes to have
10
global
seconds
presence
remaining.
so that he can pull people around the map. Whereas Zeus, with his Aghanim
5
scepter, is allowed to
seconds
catch
remaining.
people globally around the map, and that
and
might just be thinking we want this nature to have a good game. So can we get rid of the Zeus to stop them from being able to bully us globally?
and like you're saying with his ulti stick, also
Dire team
into that Kotal ulti with his use ulti stick going on with that. It's quite a strong combo to be able to hold them down.
Am I crazy in saying you just pick Ember for his side here? With the Cottle, it deals with the natures and the Jakiro quite nicely. Isn't the Rubik does like playing against the but I think it's very strong and it's
10
going to be able to
seconds
tempo
remaining.
quite nicely with
Yeah.
the with
5
the Cottle
seconds
Bristle.
remaining.
Yeah, definitely. I do agree. It is something that they can look at. What's your guys think? What's your thoughts going towards this draft? Do you think they are playing like these heroes like a Cortal and a Bristleback that can just be able to tank and initiate? Do you think they're going more like for that Ember? They're going more of that. There we go.
Radiant
Enigma. I don't think
team
they're worried
pick.
about the ping if you're looking at
Whoa!
those picks. Remember the last game straight away when we had the Enigma on the side of Team South Africa missing and blinking in and missing dark holes because of that ping. I wonder if that's going to play a factor for the Incubus gaming team.
I mean, I think the biggest thing to look at here is what the lanes going to look like. I mean, I said that I thought this Cottle and Bristle would head off lane together, but they might end up going into the safe lane
10
together
seconds
because
remaining.
you want to put this Enigma in the off lane.
Definitely.
Picking
5
the Enigma
seconds
into the
remaining.
Rubik is one hell of a ballsy move.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I didn't even look at that, but that is an interesting idea. This Rubik can steal that. He's got some nice steals.
Yeah, it's a nice Rubik game. I like the Rubik is traditionally good against Kotl because all of his spells are really nice to steal. They're
Yeah.
all nice big range, so the Rubik really benefits from them. But immediately, this Enigma, Rubik is the traditional counter to Enigma. So picking Enigma into the Rubik,
Especially on the game that you
yeah,
have the high ping where Team South Africa
exactly.
has that low ping with the Rubik. I do agree with you. I think that is going to be quite a rougher game. This is looking better for Team South Africa than it was in the previous game, definitely at this part of the drafting stage.
Yeah, I think also this Rubik combined with its natures, then maybe we see young people play the Spirit Breakers. You talked about you wanted that. It's kind of got almost a global presence, not global, but a very can easily
team
rotate
pick.
between lanes early on. Natures can do that, can pick up the pieces for the Rubik, but we go into the interesting against the.
I think lane's okay against the Enigma. Doesn't mind too much about the Eidolons. You can kind of clear them quite nicely with the Blade Fury, but I feel like it's just a comfort pick this game. You don't know what you're picking your carry into. You can't see the other two cores yet, so you're thinking,
10 seconds
you know,
remaining.
it's safe. We like Jug. We'll just play it.
Yeah, definitely. And
5
Jug's
seconds
always a
remaining.
scary person to play into that mid game, going towards late game. If they can farm him up and get to that timing, Jug's never someone you want to play against. Jumping in, ulting, if he can catch that Kotal off, gets him a quick ulti kill. Same thing with the Enigma, the low HP heroes. He'll struggle a bit against the Bristle with it, but I like the backline jump from it.
Radiant team ban.
Weaver.
And going into
Okay.
that Weaver pick, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, quite strong against natures. Pick him up nice in the fights. Doesn't really care about Jakiro too much, what Jakiro does. And then the high physical damage against the Jug.
And we saw how well the Weaver did the last game. He was
10
definitely not worried
seconds
about that.
remaining.
He's definitely comfortable playing that hero, as we could tell after that game.
5
I think
seconds remaining.
you can even into the small details like sniping, the healing more the job. Doesn't it's quite a nice tempo here as well. Maybe just pick up the pieces for the Enigma. They felt it was strong last game and just want to pick up.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
just
they're struggling on the side of South Africa for some long-term forms down against the weak.
yeah. But now looking at this, I do not see
Dire
on either
team
side. I
battle.
don't see that there will be a mid laner here unless you have something completely out of the normal. What your guys' thoughts are to round off these drafts for either side on that mid lane? Who are you expecting to see, and what do you think is going to be best for each of these teams going into this final pick for their draft?
I'd really like a Conquer from the side of Incubus. I think it puts another big front liner, him in the bristle, will have more than enough damage between the two of them. And they can kind of just
10
run around,
seconds remaining.
let the Weaver kind of backline bandit and do a lot of damage.
5
As well as
seconds
that,
remaining.
the Brustleback and the Juggernaut and the Conquer wouldn't actually care that much about an Omni Slash or something
Yeah.
of the high damage. Whereas for the side of South Africa, they need some kind of team fight here to you can only steal one of the spells. There's still a Black Hole and a Will-O-Wisp, so they need to think about being able to match that kind of aggression. And I'm trying to think of something. Ethan, team
Yeah.
fight mid.
Team
Team
pick.
fight mid.
Ooh, that's just
I
that's
like
scary.
Ember just as much as the Kunka pick there.
Yeah, it does a similar kind of thing. Does a lot of damage early in the team fights. Can initiate with a lot of damage.
You need some sort of team fight and lockdown here. And I don't know, addressing team fight. Maybe the DP ban. I was going to suggest the DP with the silence would have been strong with the team, but that's not there.
5 seconds remaining.
They really need to think about some kind of team fight here. I feel they've only got 2 seconds.
Can they conquer themselves, maybe?
There we go.
You may
That's
now
perfect.
select your
Okay.
I like the Monkey King ulti there. But
Yeah.
straight off of that, guys, looking at the draft before I leave you guys and have to go into that, what's your guys' final thoughts on drafts? What's happening after the last game? What do you see happening for this game?
I think this MK picks up the pieces on certain sides of their draft. It's not bad, but the Weaver can still just bug him up and get out of his ult. So I think they're still going to struggle with the mass team fight. Incubus have just got a strong timing and just go.
Yeah, definitely. I'm on the same board with you. If you guys have to make your prediction right now, is it going to 2-0 to Team Peru, or is it going to be a 1-1 after this to end up in a draw from Team South Africa?
I'm going to say it first, so Ethan has to pick the wrong one. I think it's going to be Peru. I think they have a lot of team fight and a lot of damage, and I think this is the way forward for them.
I do agree with that. And Ethan, your ideas or guesses for this event and this last map?
I'm going to hate myself for saying this, but I'm going to have to agree with it. It's just this Peru lineup is just so strong. It's got such clear timing. I don't think ping is going to play that much of a difference. The last game, I think they were just lost, and I think we're going to see it again. I think this Ember, combined with this Bristol's going to become unkillable. This Ember just do so much. The Weaver we saw was very strong last game. It's going to be difficult for South Africa to deal with.
So you guys heard it here first. Casters going with the 2-0 to Team Peru. Good luck, you guys. Enjoy the game, and hopefully we can get it to last longer than 15 minutes this time. Good luck, guys, and enjoy.
Thank you very much. I think I'm going to have just as much fun casting this game as I did the last one, and I think we're very excited to see how much of a stomp this might just be.
I mean, possibly the most important part of the game, maybe the closest contested, the Whack-A-Meepo. MK taking an early lead. This could early win for South Africa. Is that part of it? We see issues with lag. We saw that last game. I don't know if they're going to be fixed. If they're going to be able to fix those two easily. But yeah, I think for me, there's just such a clear time early when they're going to be able to get their sixes right. This back hole early, this Will-O-Wisp early. With this Ember and this Bristol, they're just going right.
Mm-hmm. You're just going to have to carry this one a bit for me here. I'm having a bit of a problem with my RTMP. But I think there is a chance that they... there's low ping. You can whiff these team fights. These spells do require a little bit of organization and a little bit of precision to be able to land. So I feel like if there's a game that can win, this Monkey King, I actually really like here. I was saying that they need a team fight mid that can win the lane. And to be honest, that's exactly what Monkey King is. Combo with the Ice Path, combo with the Sprout, they're keeping people in the MK ult. Yes, there's some tanky cores on the side of Peru, but the MK ult might be able to do a lot of damage here, in my opinion.
Yeah, looking into lane, the MK does lane quite nicely up against it, but it is quite a high skill hero. You got a very good player on it. He can dodge his balance strike, but the ping will come into a factor. It's going to be very difficult to dodge it with ping, I believe. So that might kind of, make the matchup more. But whether it's going to be even or not to contest this lane, I think it's going to go strongly from the mid. Whether the Ember can tempo the game against his king, so the Monkey King can get ahead of him, able to do a lot on the side. He can gank very easy, and you've got the global presence of the natures that maybe they can take a game. If the Rubik can get an early 6 and kind of steal half this team fight from this Dire side, then all of a sudden you've got the MK and you've got Will-O-Wisp on your side, you've got a Black Hole on your side, a Macro Pyre with a Juggernaut. You've got damage. They've just got to make sure they don't early on.
You are correct. I think they've just got to make sure that this laning phase is probably the most important laning phase that lives, to be honest. I think if they want to show that they can bring this back, then the laning phase is super important.
Did you just say I was correct? Did I hear you correct? Sorry, I just had to double check that. What we see, the Cottle and Burner on the Bristleback this time, not the Weaver, so they're into the safe lane together. Natures can keep his distance reasonably well from the Bristleback, right? But the Bristleback can also deal with the Nature's treants, as you can see here, and this Bristleback's going to have no issues with mana because the Cottle can just keep refilling him with it. He's not going to have to bring himself too many mangoes. See the Juggernaut heading into the bottom lane against the Weaver. I think they're going to struggle to kill the Weaver unless Jakiro wants to commit to leveling up Ice Path early for this kind of form of lockdown. But if he does, he's going to really struggle to trade with the kind of clear the Eidolons. Lou just stacking.
Getting the stacks there. Noah's got to be a little bit careful. The trading coming out. It may have the ping factor, but he's going to drop a little bit low. He has got the regen to be able to stick through. But Lou is actually showing here. This is my town now, boys. This is my mid lane.
No,
yeah, I mean, level 1, he hasn't got the sleight of fist. He's got to really be careful. Lou probably looking to get his level 2 earlier as well. If he can get this Bandit Strike on early, he's going to really be able to pressure him out the lane. Those stacks yet again. Noah just hiding under his tower. He cannot go near. He's going to have to start ferrying out more and more regen. This is a really nice start. This is really important for being able to win this game. The lane pushing the top. Stationary's not going to mind this too much. He's just
too easy.
Farming. There it is. Luke. First blood. Did get a bit low there. We got the level 2. Dropping the tips. That's what I like to get him triggered. Oh, he's on his own team. On their own team. They're flaming their mid laner. Happy. That is a nice start. And we're going to come. He's going to be behind as well. Just.
I think it's interesting to see the lanes here. They've actually decided. I think they've decided to put the Weaver on the position 4 actually, and put this Enigma core.
Okay.
Maybe not. Maybe the Enigma is the 4th. But I think they've decided to put the Bristle carry, deciding that he's the one that needs to farm priority this game. And they can have this really greedy draft with the Enigma in the 4 position, and they can farm the jungle as well as the lanes.
This Enigma's actually sitting in the jungle, right? Top jungle, just getting. I think this Weaver's just going to try and collect what he can. Try and pull the waves and stuff. I don't think he's going to get too much on the Weaver. So Luhit just able to, playing very aggressive, but able to get up the bonus again. Sorry, to get the Jingo stack. Yeah, it's going to be a lot on how quick Kyle can get a 6 and rotate, kind of recover this bottom lane, because Rizzo should be having a very good time as well as Lou. Whether they've got enough damage there with Burner early on, because he's doing extremely well against this nature, is really struggling.
Oh god, he is. But I think... Oh, that's going to come out. He's not just a Fairy Fire, he's actually going to take a few tower shots for that, but the Jingo actually dodges the tower shot, showing the ping is on his side now. Going to heal up for the Jingo mastery. This is what the Lou that we wanted to see.
Yeah. We're going to get the cancel on this. But as I said, December is going to start falling behind. He's behind the last hits and very more regen, but Lou's got to be careful here. Sleight of fist and the flame guard up. Can start to put this again.
The stun actually. Oh, he finds the outplay!
Oh.
Yes, Lou, this is what we wanted from the first game. This is what we're finding in the second game. The ping showing that he's the best mid laner in South Africa in this game.
In this game. Well, we said this mid lane was going to be highly so important early on. Him getting bloods, this Ember is not feeling good. He is up there on the CS, but he's going to have that death guard. He's going to have to ferret out regen. He's going to fall more and more behind. So they need to be looking tops soonish and just how can we deal with this bristle? This bristle is going to be the main problem coming out of this game. They've got this.
Rubik, hearing what you're saying, he's taking that damage actually there. And this Bristle's going to be able to sit in this lane and get whatever he wants. But it's also important to notice that the Jug and the MK are the second two on the CS. This is not something that we saw last game. This is something that this is new for this team. You know, the last game was a stomp, and now we're getting the CS. This is the time we make a comeback. It's the time that we run these lanes over.
Yeah.
And I think this DD actually might ruin this lane a little bit, but I'm actually feeling that Lou, the rotation coming in from the Weaver, can they slow him down? He just wanted to push him off this lane a little bit. Throwing the bugs onto him, making his life a little bit rough, but he actually finds the stun onto him, but he's not going to know. Not going to be able to get it closer. They bring the Jakiro mid. Feeling that this DD and this Weaver might be causing a problems here, but it also means this bot lane on the Juggernaut
Yeah.
might just be a little bit easier, actually. The Weaver leaning, leaving and find the farm. The chain's coming out onto Lou. He's dropping a bit low. He's no. The Slight of Fist proving too much for the double damage. Thinking it timed out. The Flame Guard actually maxed for 3 stacks. And the damage, too much.
Getting a bit greedy there in the mid. Fills with Ninja a bit invulnerable, but he gets taught a lesson. He can't get overzealous here. As you said, though, Rizzo soon against a nice round. This Weaver's not been able to pick up too much. Kind of wasted his time almost, rotating mid. This Enigma is having a nice time in the jungle. They're struggling to pressure.
I think that this kind of laning phase based game, and we're not actually seeing as much of the bloodbaths as we saw last time. I think that Lou, you know, he's been able to control his lane, but it's also been quite even. You know, they haven't traded just as much. They haven't. They're actually going to find the stun onto him. The one more click is actually going to bring him down. Just 1-1, now to 2-1 in the mid lane. 3 kills onto Lou, actually. Much better performance than last time. And Rizzo actually finding as much CS as the Bristleback. You know, he's got the denies onto the Weaver. He's been able to farm this game. He's going to show us that he is as good as we say he is.
Yeah, as long as they can ride out these kind of times I've talked about when they first hit 6. This Weaver and this, you know, this Weaver's going to be struggling. They're going to be able to pressure them a lot on the side of Radiant against them, who, you know, you look to your Ember to kind of set the tempo, but he's struggling in the mid lane himself. It's going to be the Bristle.
The rotation coming out, he actually misses the route onto him. But this means this kill might not be doable now. Wasting a little bit more time on the Enigma, but he's fine. He's actually top CS from the jungling. And Lou's probably quite happy with the kind of attention he's drawn to himself in the mid lane, bringing these people to his lane and making sure that the rest of his core can farm. Nature's starting to recover in the top lane, and the Juggernaut can push his advantage even further in the bottom lane. Being incredibly good, maybe a Diff Manta game on the Juggernaut, thinking, you know, we can push our advantage, we can get this mana down. The rotation's coming out, the root is there. Manifest, is he going to come through next? Stuns down onto the Ember though. Can they dive this guy? He's quite fast. Stuns there. But they're not going to be able to find anything with the Jingu stacks. And it's now 3 army of Eidolons mid. They might have a little bit of time pushing the tower, but no.
Yeah, he's quite found on Kyle. He's going to be able to do a decent amount with the Eidolons pushing. Come and help the lanes now that he's got what he wants out of the jungle. He's got his 6. But let's look at the positives. It's 7 minutes and you've not lost your T2 tower yet. The farm is looking split fairly even. On the side, it looks like more of a game.
Snap the Takuchi, that was a heads up play there from Rizzo. Knows that he doesn't. He actually buys back to defend his tower. Maybe a little bit of tilt there coming out from the Weaver.
Tip this man up, get inside his head maybe. That's my play. But the Juggernaut is feeling quite nice. As is this Bristle though, he's able to apply a lot of pressure onto Stationary, who hasn't got the TP out at the moment. He could be in trouble here. He's going to get run down through the trees. Can he keep vision? Can. The Colt's going to block his way. You shall go no further. You shall die here. Down goes Nature's. In return, with this Weaver, he's having a struggle game. He's not doing too well. But you're kind of looking at this, you know, it's Enigma on the side of the Dire who is having a strong game to kind of pick up for this Weaver. So he can pick up for this Nature. You know, he's having a good time. It's just gotta make sure they got enough damage to do to, you know, to kill this Bristle.
Yeah, I think we saw how much impact the Weaver was able to have last game. So if you can shut down the Weaver this game, I know it's a different player, but that impact is going to be much less compared to the first game.
Yeah, but we are starting to see a bit of pressure onto the Radiant Towers with Kyle rotating with his arts, Mid didn't go down, but, decent damage and onto bottom.
Nice coming out. It might save Youngblood here, but the Weaver's going to dive in. He's taunting in the invis. He's actually going to walk away from this one. He's going to go for the Courier instead, and the Tornado from the Enigma Dom creep. Trying to annoy this bot lane a little bit. As the Monkey King, 22 denies. This Ember is actually getting bodied. He doesn't feel like he can lane anymore. He's doubling him up on the CS.
That's good. I mean, you said the Helm the Dom onto the Enigma, so he's gone for that over the Pink Dagger early on. Do you think
it's on the tip of the ice, but cancels it immediately? They're going to bring him down. There's actually a good fight with the stun coming out onto the Rubik. It's going to more. Can Rizzo find anything here? He's actually not got the mana just yet, but the Ember's coming in. The spin coming out is stopping him, but the Weaver just going to slide away with that bottle charge. Just had enough time. He's going to turn. He's going to right click him. He's going to drop. Almost there for the side of Radiant. Looking so much better than the first game already.
Yeah, that was close. That black hole wasn't that useful. You got that long range stun from Ninja Llama. They've got a decent amount of timing now with this. Enigma's going to only be able to push lanes with this Dom creep. He did go this Dom creep build, which I was just about to say is allowing him to pressure and help his lane, especially this Weaver down. But that black hole is going to be not as useful, especially as it's down now. You kind of got a bit of a timing with Lu being so strong. Lu getting decent pressure onto the mid lane, can start to rotate maybe and help.
Stationary, the Nature's Prophet, the sacrificial lamb of this game. He's the one that's having to take the brunt force of Bristol. He's just diving the tier 2. He doesn't care. The ult coming out, slowing. There's actually 2 supports here to go to the meat grinder that is Bristleback. But he's actually might have to leave the tower. He's taking a lot of damage from the new and improved T2. As the ult dissipates and he decides to back lane. But the MK, he's looking for rotation with the Invisrune. This might be good. I think he might have just got the ping out from the Cottle or the Bristle. Can they find him? Yes, they see him. The stun's there. The blast, the Nature's Prophet's TPing in. He just feels like he has to run. They stack the stuns a little bit. Oh, the ice blast just off the mark. Lu needs to find something here. No more slows to come out. Can they get him? Just the one more stat with the Bristles too quick. They might have to settle for another kill, but they're actually not going to get them. Oh, they just catch the Cottle with the MP ult and the Bristle. He's feeling the turn. He's feeling the damage. The MK, the heal's a bit too much. Bristle's going to walk away from this one, or is he? Lu, he fancies more. He wants to dive in the tower. He gets the stun, but the Jingu stacks reset. They're not going to have enough to bring this Bristle down underneath the tower.
That's not a good early sign. This Bristle might just come up to 100 CS. I don't know how many of them streams, but he's doing well. He's going to get some items. He can start to feel a bit of an unkillable force. He took a lot of damage from diving the T2s there, so he's got to be careful. But that top lane is owned by them. This Nature's is really... But you still did see they had... once he died, he came back. He had that global presence. He was able to slow down the Bristol a bit. But they've just got to work a way to keep on top and keep that damage into them. Meanwhile, their other towers are getting pressured. So responsibly moves top, carries on top, tries to take the Bristleback's tower. He's going to turn.
I think the stun coming out here onto the Bristleback. He might not just be able to get away. It's Reboot just TPing out. No stuns coming out from the Bristleback just now. Lu feeling he has to rotate to be able to keep this game stationary. Actually, the Omni Slash into the Jug. The TP out, it's onto the creeps. It's not going to be fine. He needs to spin or something to be able to clean these creeps up. Just going to have to TP, otherwise the Weaver's going to right click him down. He's going to make it away. Actually, an unfavourable trade there. What are you seeing? The 4K lead coming out heavily, actually, onto this Bristle.
Yeah.
And this Enigma, this position 4.
They've really struggled to pressure and, pressure the Enigma and kind of work on the lack of lane bottom. The Weaver hasn't been, considering how bad his game should have been, they haven't pressured that too much. They haven't dealt with that too much. Punished them, what should I say? They haven't punished them enough for having this greedy Enigma. And, Lu, although he's won mid, his first rotation wasn't successful when it really needed to be for this Bristle. Rizzo has had a decent lane bottom, but is nothing near the likes of this Bristle, and he's starting to be killed. They still got mechanisms and ways to kill this Weaver.
Lu actually get a little bit low there, but he's going to get the TP out. They might have used quite a lot there, but Youngblood is not looking safe under his T2 as the big bad Bristol's charging in. They bring in the Nature's Prophet to try and slow anyone down, but the Ember's jumping in, and the Will-O-Wisp is keeping all 3 of them in place under the T2. They're looking to find more. The Nature's Prophet is blown back in by the Cottle, and now the Jug is in, looking for more. They're actually here on the 2 cores, but the black hole's onto both of them! It's beautiful! It's magical! And they're both dead. Or is he? Yes, he is. He's going to sneak away from this one. It's not feeling good right now. This draft maybe look better. This ping maybe look better. Yes, it's less than an advantage. But are they going to be able to outclass the Sam of Peru, Ethan?
No, that's 7,400 net worth on a Bristle at 13 minutes. He's just had a free time, and you've seen that he's rotated. They can't kill him. The Ember's able to catch, and they identify that there's no ice pass on the Jakiro. The back hole free onto the 2 cores. It just feels nice. And your cores are gone, or your support's gone, and you're sitting under your T3s again, feeling scared of even going out. This MK, he's still in the game. He's still doing decent, as is the Jug. He's not too far back. But, you can look. There's no Will-O-Wisp now. There's no... maybe this is your time to push out. Try and get some walls down. Take control of your own map again. When you're losing control this severely at 14 minutes, it's starting to look like the first game. The 7k up. It's not quite as bad. We've still got ways to come back into this game. With the Chikiro, he's got decent Hydra.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Defense.
Lou's looking a little bit here. Thinking about something with the Barissa bag. Might just give him the old 1-2. The old Tyson Fury. Just be a bit too much, but actually just going to leave it alone. And the jungle being completely controlled by a team that actually looked like they lost 2 of their lanes.
Dire's top tower
Clinic
is
on
under
how to do this.
Yeah. The transition from losing 2, using this Enigma who was greedy, who wasn't pressured to be able to come and help those lanes and kind of recover them for you. And you see this Ember is now only 500 network finds this MK. It doesn't feel like it will mid, because what has he been able to do with it? That T1 tower is not down and you've lost. I said that his rotation wasn't successful. Maybe he needs Crystal was unkillable, but the Nature's who's getting bullied is getting pressured even.
I think they needed this Nature's to have more presence this game, this Nature's to be able to control the map, be able to split push so that the course can get farm, maybe lane up with the MK, and think about doing stuff. They've got the lift onto the Weaver, but he's a little bit too much for Youngblood to handle, and the Bug is going to skitter away after taking the life of the Rubik.
Yeah, and you're looking almost a 4-core lineup at 30 minutes, right? On the
Deal
net,
from the coming out from the creep. Lou's trying to find something on the Enigma, but the creep army is just too much. The Bug, he's there. The Ember's jumping in now. Finds the sleight of the fist onto the Monkey Man. The lane that he won, now looking like a lane that he lost.
That's the man you're looking to. The man that won his lane, your captain, and he's just died under a T2 again. It's looking worse and worse. Cold's dewarding now, taking more and more map control away from them. This Nate just hasn't got the farm to be able to split push and regain any map control, which is the big issue here. I mean,
this Enigma 4 has looked so good this game, in which, I think South Africa have come off a bit of a rough loss, feeling a little bit down, and they're trying to give a lot of respect to the Peruvian side, not pressuring the lane as much as they should. That he's a man down, and this Enigma has been able to take what they've got. Yes, it was less at the start of the game, giving them this Helm of the Dom, giving them the Black Hole, actually finding a huge kill onto the Bristle. This could be more. That's a lot of their damage. With the Black Hole, it's there. Do they want to walk high ground into this? The Ember's thinking about the jump in, not able to find Youngblood. Now Lou, he's on the backside. Can he find anything more here? Is there any more that he can do with his Jingo Mastery and his ultimate and the Echo Saber? No. I think they're happy with the pickup they've got, but it almost feels like, yes, we got this good pickup, but we still can't fight into the rest of these 4 heroes. And I think Peru might know that. They're looking for a little bit more here. Lou wants nothing to do with it. He's
gone. But yeah, they get a nice pick off. They can back up if they don't lose Lou. If he doesn't get overzealous and farm, no, he's fine. You take that as a win. This Black Hole is up, however. As soon as this Bristol back into the fight, that's 5 seconds time. They're going to look maybe to really press the advantage onto this T2 bottom, take up the kind of the last bit of map, Radiant kind of own that. Pushes out mid.
Looking for a pick here. He fancies the Rubik a little bit more. This ward seeing all too much from the side of Dire. Youngblood's been surrounded. Almost thinking that his MK should have been the target, but he'll be happy to tank that gank.
That's not too bad. Again, bit of space top, able to soak a bit of XP and farm on the creeps there. But you know, we talked about what they did wrong. Can they do anything correct? Can they do anything right to get back?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
They need to find this Enigma. The Jug getting caught up in the tower, but I just don't think they have anywhere near enough damage for this Bristleback. We're already just going to run him down. Yes, he's got the Yasha. The Bristle's so close to having an AC at 18 minutes, and they just want this tower. They don't care about the ping. They just want your buildings.
Yeah, the physical damage anyway, you know, to rip through them. It's difficult to do that against a Bristol normally, but with that AC, it's going to be near a pop. Did he get the pick off bottom on him? So he's technically killable. That's when he was isolated with the team. That took 5 people out. When you've got a Cole sitting behind him, and Enigma, and Ember, and a Weaver, I don't think you can kill him. And you're going to struggle to kill the other heroes on that team. It's going to be a lot on Lou getting off a good ulti, but Ninja Llama definitely going to fall.
Not felt like he was out of position there, but the Weaver is able to capitalise on someone that is, and he's actually diving in. The Carl finding 2 as the Jug is spinning his way out of it. And then the Rubik is going to drop in there. Stationary actually coming in. There's a silence onto the black hole. It's just going to stop the Weaver from dying. Actually, Lou on the back line. He's got a bit of freedom here. They find the Cottle. Ember he has got the mana to get away, but Lou wants to carry on chasing. Can they find anything else? I think not. Trying to maybe catch a wrap on these heroes that are still in. Kyle's actually there. Rizzo's actually taking a lot of damage from this Weaver. They find 1. Can they find 2? Oh, the Weaver damages too much. Now Lou's left a little bit lonely here in the bot lane. He's baiting the ultimate, feeling like he might have to pop it to be able to get away with this one. Waiting for the Chikiro to come back. They find the stun. Can they find the next one? Yes, they can, but they have no vision. Can they find it? No. Oh, almost onto the side of the Weaver. And the Ember's feeling completely dauntless. Doesn't find him. But he's super low. Can they return it onto the Ember? I just don't think they've got enough damage. The Desolator ripping through the side of Radiant.
Yeah, so close, but again, the core was so weak there. The Weaver falling so low, the Ember falling. Lou able to do a lot of damage, but meanwhile, the big bad Bristle is just running down your T2 top with the creep, taking more and more map control. I said the only way they would get resources was about to disappear.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
I mean,
AC coming out here.
Even the team fighting for Lou feels different because anytime he goes to sit on a tree and pop his ultimate, there's an Enigma who's just going to take all those trees away. Around, stun him off. As this Weaver is just going to keep eating up on the support.
Again, they don't find the stun stack onto the Weaver. Something that they might want to be thinking about in this game. As the side of Daya is lining up for this mid tower. They've got the AC now, and the Helm, the Dom, and the Greaves. You can't kill us. You didn't have damage in the first place. Now we've got the damage mitigation. We've got the heal. Can you fight into this? No, you can't. Let's hope
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
that South Africa can prove them wrong. As Nature's Prophet's going to drop in the middle of nowhere to the Weaver. This pesky little bug, creating a lot of impact with not a great laning stage.
He's second in the network now. He's sitting above his Enigma and his... Still a bit away from the Bristle, but that's a full recovery. As soon as the Nature just tries to push out a lane, create some space, kind of push back at them, the Weaver is able to track him down and just
I think they're
just going to be looking at high ground.
Yeah, they have no reason not to go high ground here. Minus armor on the buildings of the AC. Luckily, the high ground defense with the Monkey King and the Chikiro is actually quite doable. You know, he doesn't have the Black Dagger yet on the Enigma, but they're just going to walk up here. They think can have some kind of defense. The MK ult drops. Stuns onto 2, but the Iceman the follow up. They're actually finding a lot of damage, but the Cottle ult's there. The Weaver, he's be able to time that away, and Lou's just going to die his own ultimate. The damage from all 3 of these cores is just too goddamn high. The Desto and the AC now just going to rip down the tower.
That is both your high ground defenses. That's both your high ground defenses when your hero is still dying anyway. What is your response to that? That's Cottle able to sit at the back, distance himself, and just reset the fight almost with this. Any damage that's going on to them is getting mitigated by that Dom, by that AC pickup, but also they just don't have the damage in the first place.
The Nature's Prophet actually pulling out the top tier play here and defending the barracks by cutting the mid wave, stopping the side of Daya from being able to take any more buildings, take any more barracks with a high push lineup.
Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, if he's able to stall it a couple more times like that, what does your mid game to late game start to look like? I mean, we're only at 22 minutes and you're 15k down. It seems a bit weird to talk your late game, but that might be the only way you win.
Jug feeling a bit isolated here, but the Spin's got to walk away. Feeling that maybe we're a man down, just have to hide on our high ground again. Hopefully someone steps out of position here. Actually, has the Will-O-Wisp on the Rubik. This is not the worst spell here with the MK Armor and the Macropire. Actually, they could kind of mount some kind of defense here. Blue is going for the one-on-one against the Bristleback, but he's slowly realizing that this Porcupine is not to be pickled with. They're lifting him up. Can they find it? He's just too damn tanky. The two cores are right-clicking him, but I don't see that health bar going down all that much. He's getting a little bit low now as the boys are getting the armor from the tower, but even he's used so much. And he's still half HP as the rest of Dire are looking at this mid barracks. The Bristleback is slowly starting to get too much here, pushing all 3 lanes at the same time, simultaneous building destruction, Ethan.
Yeah, that doesn't feel good. He was just sitting there taunting you. Yeah, you're hitting him as hard as you can, and you're just getting spiked back. You just take that more damage from him dealing to him, then I'll just split pushing you down. There is no BKB on this Enigma. If you're going to take a fight, it's now.
That's actually surprised. Still onto 3! The Ice Path onto 3! The MK's have also been a little bit late, but they might find the 2 supports here. This is exactly the fight that they needed. The Bristleback's actually dropping below half HP. Can they keep him the MK ultimate before he does too much damage? He's slowly getting away with the Echo Saber and the spin. Can they bring him down? Come on, bring the Bristleback down. Huge goddamn kill as the other 2 cores find the other lane of racks, but that is the exact fight that you want to see from the side of Radiant. Actually, the MK is looking for more. He's stunned up, the Weaver, trying to find a bit more. It might just be too elusive, but he's still chasing.
You lose your axe, but you take that. That is a good fight. You've taken down this unkillable Bristleback in another.
The stun! The triple remnant! The Rubik carrying this game from the support position. Youngblood having no performance in the first game, but having all of the performance. The Will-O-Wisp steal and then the catch onto the Ember. This is actually exactly what they're looking for, but is it too little too late?
No, you got it. Yeah, optimism. They've just won a big team fight there. Yeah, okay, they maybe lost the racks. Don't worry about that. You got to start somewhere. The Stolen Wisp does so much. It's a surprise. They're so caught out there. You see this Bristol having to run away straight away. But whether they can do that again, but yeah, they want to fight. You got to take the positives from that. They're going to get some XP. They're going to get that. You see that Bristol, you know, he's dropped down a bit. This Juggernaut got a decent amount. The Ember died as well, trying to, you know, playing a bit too aggressive. He could easily run away, but they were able to catch him. Stationary on the nature is going to provide them with a comeback mechanism. They can start to push out lanes quite nice. They can push back. Maybe gain a bit of map control.
In a bit of trouble here. Needs to find the stun, but he's not going to find it as they lose in the top lane as well as losing the Nature's Prophet in the bot lane. This lead that we've just spoken about for the past few minutes is slowly dropping away. They don't have Lu, therefore they don't have damage to the Bristleback, and trading with them seems like folly, honestly. And the ult's there, but they just managed to get the spin off. It seems like it's going to be a clean off the supports, the healing sword there. The hero of South Africa dropping. What's your defense now, Ethan?
I spoke too soon. That's my defense for myself. Yes, they got maybe overconfident on Lu instead of pushing out. They did win a fight. They maybe got a bit ahead of themselves. They're having to commit buybacks now. Any gold that was gained there, you've lost. You know, they're even working through buildings now.
Oh, jeez! The Divine Rapier coming out! The Joke had no idea what was going to happen. The damage out of nowhere as he's one-shotting your barracks. This is the last fight that you have. They silence onto the Ember. They lift him up. Can they find anything? The stun onto 2. The Juggernaut's not down yet. Can they find the Weaver? That's the fucking Rapier on the deck! Oh my god. This is too much. They find the Rapier. This is the big network swing. They actually lose so much there. Barracks is slowly falling there. They've forgotten the Mega Creeps. They're trying to have to find their way out here, but the Bristol, is he too tanky? Is this Rapier enough to be able to bring him down? The damage! Yeah. They might be able to bring him down here! Sure. The Mega Creep's been initiated. Oh, the stun of the Rapier onto 2! They eviscerate! Fight that they needed! The Rapier on the death of the Weaver! The turnaround! This is incredible!
Let's go, that's your win. Okay, you got Megan, it doesn't matter. Lou is now the biggest hero in the game. He's outplaying damage. You gotta go. You gotta get some sort of map control. You know what? You take...
Oh, the Black Hole! He might actually just throw it away straight away. Can they never do enough damage? Is there a chain stun? The stun's there. He's so low. But they fight. Oh, he dies to the Moon Nobles! The Rapier's back on the deck. And I think the Juggernaut has still got it in his hands. My heart is racing. Can they make this Mega Creep come back? There's only a 7k lead now. This is not insurmountable. This net worth lead is slowly falling away. They've used a lot of their big spells, Ethan.
Can they do this? Can they really do this?
I don't know, my veins are pumping, mate.
know.
This is, if it's any, oh.
This is the best action we've seen. This is the best Dota we've seen when casting this region. We got to take it. Weaver, he goes to Manta, then he goes straight Divine. Yeah, he chops down this Juggernaut. He's dead instantly. Passes them.
Yeah, the Widow Bristle's dead. Can they find the kill? They commit a lot here. The Bristle's in. The MK's dead. Do they have the damage? Might not get away. The Abyssал's there.
Oh, no.
the Rapier is on the deck.
Oh,
The
you
Rapier
lost.
is on
No.
the deck. The salvation, everything that they needed to come back into this game is now back in the hands of the Weaver.
It was looking so good for a brief fleeting moment there. They went for this man to Divine. He chopped down the Jug, but Lou managed to turn it on, pick up that Divine. Mounted high ground defense, but these Megas are pushing into you, and the Divine is back in the hands of this Weaver. You've got 2 heroes dead. They're marching down your mid. I don't think you can defend this.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's
They tip the
middle
Prophet
tower
to
has
say,
fallen.
you might think you're smart, buddy, but your buildings are dropping. The ult's going to have to come out, and the fort's there. But it's actually not onto anybody. Gets pushed out of the ult by the Cull. The Nature's Prophet drops immediately. Now loses that position. Can he walk away from this one? The Ice Path to 3. The damage, is it enough? But the Weaver's just going to turn around and eviscerate and face the earth. He's going to drop. He's gone, as well as the Ancient. It's GG. A well-fought battle there from SA. The Rapier drop, the Rapier pick up, and then the Rapier drop again. It's Shakespearean, Ethan. And I believe that's the best game we've had so far.
Yeah, it was. You know what? That was as back and forth we can get. The Rapier going in between the teams, but ends up being Peru taking the game quite easily. Nearly made it to 30 minutes. There's a positive for South Africa. But yeah, rounded up by Peru. We saw this, Divine pickup, an interesting one. I think more just having a bit of fun. Any thoughts? Was there any way they could get back into that game that we missed? Game just over from the lane.
I think there was a star in the sky. It led them towards the Divine Rapier, but on their journey, the wise men of South Africa, they fell into a ravine filled with ember spirits and bristlebacks.
That
And
is not a ravine.
And that's
You
not the
wanna
ravine
call
that
it.
they wanted to be in there.
No.
Yeah.
They go on. Sorry, Jesse.
No. I was just coming back in it just to talk about that. That was crazy. Just to be able to see that the Weaver insta pick up the Divine Rapier and just some craziness coming in. You guys sound like you had a blast casting that. That was definitely the best game that we've seen so far on that. So I am very, very happy that we got to see a bit more. Definitely looked like they did way better on that ping difference, low taking that early game, winning that mid lane. Like you said, they had to win those lanes, but that Bristle just getting that free farm just was too much for them at the start, and it was just crazy.
It was just he was just too farmed at the end.
Yeah, the ping did show up for them. Lou did have a nice time mid. Rizzo has a decent time bottom, but this Bristol got too big. They're able to push. For a 30-minute stomp. Well, I think you can call that a stomp, but for it was 30 minutes top. It was back and forth. That Divine purchase maybe mixed it up a bit. But yeah, I think in the end, Peru identified that they were probably they were going to win that game, and they wanted to have a bit of fun. Yeah, it's whatever. What can South Africa take from this game? Well, they can take the fact that they played better on the ping. So that first game, maybe you can write off and say, the reason that only lasted 11 minutes was because we can play, this Monkey King mid well, mid matchup. We got some decent farm on Rizzo. We just need to look how to pressure their safe lane a bit more. It's going to be such.
Yeah, definitely. That was just a wonderful game to watch. It was so back and forth. When Monkey was able to pick up that Rapier, you just saw the change coming, and then it's just crazy coming back and forth the whole time. That was just phenomenal to watch.
Yeah, bit hype.
Yeah, maybe.
Divine purchase always mixes it up, but I think the game was still set though. As to the
Yeah, definitely. That was just a great game to watch. It was great casting. That was definitely way better to watch. Well done, guys, for that. But
Yeah, I think I got a bit excited.
You had a right to. We had a right to get excited. I think that's the best thing we've seen.
Yeah, the silver lining. We're all about these comebacks. Me and Ethan ourselves, we are terrible laners, but we are excellent at coming back into games. So when we see these redemption stories, it's just magical. It's music to our ears.
We can
Definitely.
relate. Comeback kings, that late game. We never lose late game. We do most of the time, but we,
So, what's your guys' thoughts of that whole game? Did you think the draft better? What made it so much better for Team South Africa?
I think the draft was we're going to start with the ping. I think the ping did play a bit of a, especially in the mid lane with that MK versus Ember. It's quite a skill orientated matchup, being able to dodge and fake out your boundless strength, the sleight of fist.
Yeah.
And we saw Lou take the early advantage. I also felt like they had a better draft, which dealt with, made them have better lanes. They just didn't deal with this bristleback.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep coming back to this point because he got so farmed. His natures wasn't able to really lane against them that well. And this bristleback was picked earlier, right? When it's picked this early, you need to come up with a way to deal with it, and they just didn't. They just kind of ignored it.
Yeah, it was the same thing like we were talking about in the previous game with the Phoenix, where they didn't really pick up that counter for those early picks, and those are the ones you have to be able to counter because you have so much time in your draft to be able to pick something to counter it. So it's definitely something to look at and do, but it was a much better game from Team South Africa. Yeah, definitely, like you said, I agree. The ping definitely looked like it did help them quite a bit. Was definitely way more in their favor, but it was still well done to Team Peru being able to take that victory, doing really well on that high ping as well. And it was just unstoppable. Weaver with a rapier. Wow, that was a tongue twister. Is so strong, and it's just crazy how much damage he exudes, and you just can't fight that. And you have that bristle just tanking, sitting in the front. You have an Ember who's always just hard to go against. It's just crazy.
I think multiple times they were so close to killing this Weaver. They just didn't have that last bit of lockdown.
Yeah.
That kind of when they can't punish, kills like that, maybe over rotations or going too far on this Weaver dives, they're just going to struggle. That is when you're behind. People making mistakes is the main way you get back into games, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And so when they can't punish said mistakes, it becomes almost impossible.
I think
definitely.
It's so important to highlight that the difference, is that Lou actually looked really strong that game. I think playing against a team that was more against the Namibians, for example, a team that they were ranked equally to, Lou looked strong, and against an immortal mid laner, someone that I was talking so much about before this event and before this broadcast. I was saying that he's one of the best mid laners in Peru, and Lou actually beat him in lane. Yes, there was a ping difference, but if he's that much better, then he still managed to beat him, and that is something to really take from this.
Oh, definitely. Like we've been saying on multiple occasions, just that young team, and they're doing so well from being such young boys, like being able to do that. So hopefully it is something we can see in the future, do better, and actually will be way better to be able to see them in a straight up head-to-head at an ISF event or something on LAN, that ping's not going to play a factor against each other. So we can see people's true skill based when they're both on the same ping, be able to go. Definitely be interesting to see how you'd be able to stack up to Immortals and things like that, like you're saying.
I think they just got to keep their morale. Yeah, they lost two. They lost 2 series. But they did win one. They got to look towards their captain. They got to look towards Lou when he was on the same ping. He played really well. He still had a fairly good impact. He wasn't able to do much just because how far behind they fell. But he did win his mid lane, and he still felt strong throughout the game. So yeah, they just got to kind of rally around him. Take what they can from these losses, especially the second one, where I think they're going to be able to learn a bit. Just go from. Build upon that. Just I think they got better possibly in between series 2 and the second series we've seen them in and this series. When they were on the ping, I think they were definitely better in that game.
Yeah, I definitely do agree. Like I said, I think it was just them. They were grinding, they were getting the practicing, everything like that. I think you can see it is coming through. Yes, they're still struggling at high ping against the high level players that have so much higher level, been playing for longer and things like that. They are still struggling, but you can see it, they are closing that gap every time, getting a bit closer and closer. So it's
There's no
definitely
shame.
good to
There's
see.
no shame in losing to a better team at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's how you win. You
Yeah.
like you said the last time we said it's you learn way more from a loss than you do from a quick 15-minute win, like we saw like in the Namibian games, the quick 21-minute wins. You're not going to learn anything from that. You learned that okay, we stomped them. But this is where you're going to go take it back, go back to the drawing board, look at your drafts, look at your picks, hopefully look at a try lane, look at things like that we keep on bringing up, and hopefully be able to see it from there.
Yeah, maybe one day we'll see them try. I think Oscar will be extremely happy on that day that we do see.
Yeah, the day we see a try lane is definitely the day that Oscar is going to be screaming like a little girl, very happy in the background. He's been asking for it for the while, so we'll definitely see. We're going to be heading over to our MVP screen, and we got anyone want to take a guess? A Weaver, after picking up that Divine Rapier, being able just to push, getting in there, doing all the damage. It is crazy, and he did so well being able to rush it. That's definitely not a normal pick, so anyone else needs to do it, please don't try and go and first item buy a Divine Rapier, because you're going to feed it and your team is not going to like you. But yeah, in this situation, it worked out well for them. What was your guys' thoughts on the Weaver game and what he did and how he was able to play that?
I think this is an MVP not only for playing incredibly well, but for entertaining the crowd. He's the showboater. You know, he scored the goal and he took his top off and spinning it around above his head. He was having a good game and he wanted to make it look even better. And it may have fallen flat a little bit, but it was the entertaining play. Let's put it that way.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely. It was all for the show.
I think the baseline is he had a bit of fun. You know, his team may have flamed it a bit when he went a bit too far in with the
there,
rapier.
and then Monkey got a triple kill.
Yeah, but you know what? He was confident. He was sitting there telling his team, "It's all right. It's all right. I'll get it back. I'll get it back. It's fine." And he did. A couple minutes later, he got it back, and the game was over. But yeah, I think the main part for this Weaver is he had, you know, with this Enigma being in the job, he had a really rough lane, but he's still able to get a decent off it. And he had a kind of a strange rotation mid, but other than that, his rotation was really successful. And that kind of allowed him to farm back into the game. A game that he shouldn't have been in. Was all stationary on the Nature's Gate, and he didn't have a game for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
But the Weaver was able to get back into the game, and I think that was a big deal because they say Flames had some nice farm, but the mid lane was one to Africa, but the Weaver bring himself back into the game, have a much bigger effect than this Nature's allowed push earlier and run him.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like you said, at least the team South Africa was able to come, let the Rubik had a good game, being able to steal some multis, be able to set up some kills, Monkey having a really good game. It was good to see, like we said, from South Africa actually being able to do those things. But yeah, to wrap it up, what's your thoughts? What does South Africa have to work on before the next time? And Oscar, you cannot say try laning. And then what else can they do, and what can Peru as well do to be able to improve from there, and hopefully they can both do even better at either later events that they do or ultimately at the ISF internationals.
All jokes aside, they have got potential, and they showed it today. That in the second game they're playing on their ping, and they didn't look like they were anywhere near how inexperienced they looked in the second series. In this series, they looked like they kind of understood. We were saying in the draft that they needed this team fight lane winning hero, and they hit the nail on the head with that. So the drafting needs a bit of work, but their idea of how to play the game, they just have to work on their execution. Whether that is laning better and working on your lane partnerships, or trying to focus more on the mid lane and having early rotations. There's a lot to learn from this game. They have a lot to think on, like try laning.
Yeah, if I can add to the laning, they just got to work out when their power spikes are, work out who's doing well on the enemy team, and if they are winning mid, rotate that here. But they weren't able to get the kill, but they had the right ideas. So if they can just be a bit more, pull off these ideas, a bit more lethal and brutal with what they do, they can start to open up this map for themselves to do a lot more. But as Oscar said, they got a lot better, I think, in between Series 2 and 3, and it hasn't been that's a big job. And they played arguably better people today, and that second game, they're nearly as bad. They were in it in the early stage, so they just need to go on.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, anything else that you guys want to say before doing it? Before we head off after this wonderful stream, just before you guys put in anything there, I just want to say thank you again to Ethan and Oscar coming out to be able to cast. It was a great game. Thank you to Mindsport South Africa and the Peruvian Esports Association for getting this team together. And obviously, it's been Team Incubus for Team Peru, doing really well. Hopefully, we can get some good news with Peru being accepted at IESF in the next few days or the next weeks to come. So we just can keep on getting it to grow and grow through the IESF partnership. And thank you to Partner Media and Zai Academy for esportafrica.tv. Please head out there. You guys can check out our previous games that we've casted. All the future events will all be streamed on there. So hopefully we'll be able to see you guys there soon, do some more. And Ethan, Oscar, once again, thank you very much. And thank you all. Thank from ourselves for being able to come out here and do it. And you guys, anything off before we'll be able to give you guys a nice highlight reel and head off for the night?
Shouts out to my boy Kashi for the observing.
Yeah.
Definitely, Kashi.
did a
I'm
good
still
job
waiting to challenge him with the Techies game, but you did really well with all the other games so far, and definitely keep it up. And thank you guys. Thank you to our production manager. Thank you, Voxy, Jay, everyone that was involved with this event. You guys did phenomenally. Ethan, Oscar, thank you again so much. You guys are phenomenal,
Cheers.
and we'll definitely hopefully be seeing everyone soon again. Guys, keep well.
All right, see ya. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
If you come back, I'll kill you. Rock it on.